Stand up, football fans. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Moose? What's going on, Chris and all? What's going on, MY Giants 26? Kevin's in the house. I saw Lolly Mac was here. I saw Marjorie was here, I think. Thank you guys for being here. Hitbits in the house. JD Davis in the house. Jay from the UK. That rhymes. Jay from the UK. What's going on? What's going on, Steve? What's going on, George? What's going on, Gabe? Cindy? Crispy, what's going on? Whoa, we're moving and grooving. Jeffrey, what's going on? Josh Satori, thank you guys for being here. Don Biz in the house. Alex Sports, Mr. Evans, you son of a bitch. Eagles UK in the house. I'm just saying hello to everybody. What's going on, Sabrina? Thank you guys for being here. What's going on, Baker Mayfield? You talk a lot of smack. About New York Giants fans. You didn't back it up this year, buddy. What's going on, Cold Waters? What's going on? Cheerio there, mate. Geomon, what's going on, Geomon? How you been, buddy? I hope you're ready for the Mets. Hopefully we dominate this year. What's going on, Karambite? All right, so we've got a major, small Giants news today. It's something a little small. I think it was something we were all expecting, though. In the last couple of days, I was kind of like on the fence whether they were going to do it or not based on Daniel Jones's development. But, the last 2 or 3 days, I think, from reading all the reports and everything else, I think we all came to the realization that the Giants were going to move on from Pat Shurmur. And this is now the second head coach that the Giants have gone through in a 2-year stretch. I've said it many times. I don't got to go over it, but we all know the reasoning why Pat Shurmur was hired in the first place. It was, in my opinion, because, John Mara wanted Eli Manning to stay on, and it limited the potential coaching hires, and that's why we ended up with Pat Shurmur. Now, Pat Shurmur's moved on. We've moved on from Pat Shurmur, and, now we're going to take a look at some of the potential coaches. Obviously, there's a couple of interviews lined up, the guys I did videos on. Matt Rule is one of the projected front runners that the Giants are going after. We'll see if he fits with a Gettleman. Obviously, Gettleman stayed on. That's something I worry about. How that's going to gel. And, that's what I've said in a lot of previous videos as well. Will a coach want to come on here and give Gettleman as much power as he's had based on some of the things he's done? Oh, man, Arturo, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, sup, Dana, happy eve of New Year's Eve. Yeah, happy eve of it's going to be New Year's Eve in 3.5 hours. But thanks for the love, man, Arturo, man. And thank you for the follow on Twitter today. I saw that. And I know you're a big baseball fan, so I'm sure you're getting ready for that. Obviously, a big day for the Giants today, though. And, I know a lot of Giants fans are excited about it. And I wanted to come live. Obviously, anytime there's big news, I woke up late today. That's why I didn't get the video out on time. And I wanted to talk about it with you guys. You guys could ask me all the questions you want, whether it's about Pat Shurmur, whether it's about, the next head coach, whatever you guys want to talk about, the offseason, free agency, whatever. Obviously, the biggest topic of discussion today is going to be Pat Shurmur, and it's going to be his potential replacement. So go ahead and shoot out your questions, guys. I just want to say thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for helping my channel grow. I do appreciate it. All right, let's get going. What's up, Lamel Sinclair? Thanks for popping in, my man. Cushmaster's in the house. Don't know if I shouted you out. Ryan, permanent, of course. Bigger Mike's in here. I don't believe everything Mara said. I don't either. I don't fully believe everything Mara said today either, Lamel Sinclair, to be completely honest with you. I hope it's accurate. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. Ethan Hamby says, what about the quadruple upload? 5. You missed one. I did 5 uploads today. Let's see. I'm trying to catch a question here. Would you like Curtis Riley? To be honest with you, I haven't even given it much thought for defensive coordinator. I made a video today. I don't know if you saw it. I made a video today on the guy from the Cowboys. A lot of guys didn't know who he was. I was surprised because Chris Richard's a pretty big name. And he's a former defensive coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks. And he's a guy that I may be potentially interested in. But at the end of the day, if they bring on a guy like Matt Rule, who he's going to want to say, he's going to get the pick, or at least have a big influence as to which defensive coordinator they bring in. I know a lot of people were worried about James Betcher. James Betcher's gone. That's a formality, just waiting for it to be official. What's up, GOAT? If we keep Garrett, I'm quitting watching. No, stop. You're not gonna keep him anyway. I'll rejoice when Betcher's gone, so Anthony. What's up, Glax? Getty could still retire. He could. I don't think he's going to. What time is that? Because I have work tomorrow at 2 o'clock. But if it's in the morning, I will live stream it. If it's in the morning, I will live stream the Gettleman press conference. if you guys want me to do that. Will Eli go to... I meant Curtis Riley, Oh, you were kidding. What's up, Marjorie? I am sold on Rule. Yeah, I am a huge guy on Rule. He's a big motivational guy. He's had great success in college, both for Temple, and then for Baylor, obviously, where he is. Once I started doing research on him, I fell in love with Rule. Oh, GQ, thank you for the love, man. GQ boys. $5 super chat, bends the knees. He says, what are your thoughts on Marvin Lewis? Okay, Marvin Lewis, that's funny, because I'm in a group chat with a lot of my subscribers on Discord, and thank you again for the love. And when I think Marvin Lewis was rumored to be going to, I forgot what team it was. Maybe it was the Cowboys or the Redskins. And they were all laughing. They're like, how could you, why would they have interest in Marvin Lewis? Marvin Lewis was a pretty good head coach. He just coached for the Bengals, and they never won playoff games, but they didn't have a ton of talent over there. He was there too long. He overstayed his welcome. They should have gotten rid of him a few years before they did. But Marvin Lewis was a pretty good head coach. You haven't heard the Giants rumored on him, and he's kind of up there in age. It seems like most Giant fans want a younger guy. But I think Marvin Lewis is a pretty good coach. I think he could get a job somewhere potentially. I don't think he'd be most Giants fans' first choice, but he's a good coach. I do think he's a good coach. What's going on? Entertainer, your hairline is receding every video. King Seahawk. The ultimate troll, King Seahawk. The ultimate troll. I always appreciate that, King Seahawk, though. Thank you very much. What's a Discord? Discord is a private chat. Matter of fact, somebody in the Discord could probably put that in there so you could join it if you'd like. Thank you, guys. Why am I not in the Discord chat? My opinion is too important not to have... Geomon, absolutely. I promote it every stream. You guys got to join it. What's up, Mark Smith, man? Thanks for popping in. Depressa. Marjorie says, Finn's beating the... Oh, my God. It was fantastic, wasn't it? The Patriots losing that. But the Patriots have never won a Super Bowl when they've had to play in the wild card round. So keep that in mind. Let's see what we got here. Rex Ryan, defensive coach. Okay, Cushmaster. A lot of people have asked me about Rex Ryan. He's coached in New York before. Bold personality. My thoughts on Rex Ryan is this. He's not coming back unless it's for a head coach. And I don't even know if he'd come back for that. He's got a cushy desk job. He's probably making a couple of $1 million a year. I don't know that. I don't get his tax returns. But he's probably making a good salary. I don't see him coming back for what he would look at as a demotion. This guy's a former head coach for the Jets and the Bills. I don't think he's coming back as a defensive coordinator. If he's coming back into the NFL, it would be as a head coach. Let's see what we got here. And Dark Demonic says no to Rex Ryan. Yeah. Okay, so another thing that a lot of people have asked me to do, McCarthy's a guy I think they should interview at least. He's got experience. He's not my first choice, but I think they got to interview him. But another guy that a lot of people want me to do a video on, and I've been hesitant to do it. I got asked like 10 times today. And I'll get to it in 1 second. Let me just thank you so much, Malik Thompson, for the super chat. $5 super chat. Benzanese, what's up? The reason why they kept the GM because of the draft, and I think they should get the Baylor coach or the Chiefs offensive coordinator or Ravens D. Okay, you're talking about Eric Bieniemy. To be completely honest with you, I didn't know a ton about Eric Bieniemy. I obviously heard about him and heard him as a potential head coach. And I did some research on him today when I saw that the Giants were going to, interview him. And he's got a pretty good history. He had very good success with Alex Smith. The only thing I worry about with him is he coached under Andy Reid. Well, first off, Pat Shermer coached under Andy Reid. A lot of people didn't like that. But I like Andy Reid. I always say it. I think Andy Reid's one of the most brilliant offensive minds in football. But did Andy Reid have more to do with the offensive success, or was it Eric Bieniemy? So that's the only thing that I question there. But he's got a good history, and he's certainly a guy that I think they should interview for the job for sure. And they are, so I'm glad that they are. And obviously, Matt Rule is my number one choice. I like Matt Rule a lot. And Asia, thank you for the love. $5 super chat. Ben Zadich says, Chris, stand up, my sexy Tana. Now we need a coach who can take Daniel Jones to the next level. I take Matt Rule. I'm a big fan of Matt Rule. Huge fan of Matt Rule. But yeah, one thing I want to, and thank you again, Asia. But one thing I want to talk about real quick. I got asked by like 10 people today. I've been asked in the past. I've been hesitant to make the video because I don't view it as a realistic possibility. But people seem interested in the topic of Bill Belichick coming back to the New York Giants. I don't think it would ever happen. That's why I haven't made the video. But if you guys really want me to make that video and go over the things that I think would need to transpire for him to come back to the Giants, I will do it. I think maybe there's a small possibility, a minute possibility. If you guys want me to do that video, I'll do it. I've been asked by a lot of people today. Goat says don't do it. Yeah, Matt Rule for the coach. Who do you think will win the NFC playoffs? Don't do it. That's black. Okay. Who do I think will win the NFC playoffs? Real quick. Okay. If I'm being completely honest, at the beginning of the year, did I get a new member? Did I miss that? Grombyte, or are you trolling? No, I think you're trolling. Thank you so much, Kevin, by the way, for the $2 super chat. You can verify. How do you think Dave will do in free agency and drafting? Okay, real quick, I'm going to answer the NFC playoff question first. At the beginning of the year, I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, and the Packers are the number 2 seed. So they've done as good as I could have hoped for. They went 13-3, but they have not looked nearly as good as I thought they would down the stretch. They played really good against the Vikings, and then they really struggled against Detroit. I really want to pick them, but because they don't have home field advantage, it's hard not to pick the 49ers. The 49ers looked so good last night, and they're going to have home field advantage throughout, but they're inexperienced. The NFC is wide open. I'm going to go with the Saints. I think the Saints are the best team, and I'm going to go with the Saints. But I think a lot of teams can come out of the NFC, but I'll go with the Saints. And he says, how do you think Dave will do in free agency and drafting? Okay. Drafting, I don't worry about Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman, to me, and thank you again for the love, Kevin. Dave Gettleman, to me, is a fantastic drafter. I should say fantastic. I think we overrated drafting a little bit because Jerry Reese was that bad over the last 7 years, but he's a very good drafter. This year showed that, in my opinion. You look at all the draft picks he had, they were all good, and then you take into account Caden Smith, right? He was a 6th-round pick. They brought him in. Gates, right? He was an undrafted free agent. So he has an eye for young talent. I'm not worried about the draft. The free agency we have to worry about. But it's the first offseason where he's really had cap space to work with. So I got to give him the benefit of the doubt and give him an offseason where he has free agency money. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But the draft, I'm not worried. The free agency worries me a little bit. And thank you so much, man, for the love. Nelson. Oh, Nelson. Just want to make sure I didn't miss one. Nelson, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. Let's get Matt Rule and no. Oh, God. Jason Garrett should not even be an option. And Steven Evans, James Betcher, I'm confused too, but he's not going to be here. He's not going to be here. I think they're waiting until they bring in the head coach, and then they'll make the changes to the coordinators. I think they're just waiting until they bring in a head coach. He's not going to be here. Don't worry about it. And Arturo, man, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. Would you consider trading down in the draft or stay at 4? I've gotten that question a lot, Arturo. That is a great question. I'm going to make a video on that. I would absolutely consider trading down at 4. And I think we're in a prime spot to potentially trade down because the Dolphins, we need a quarterback to really impress at the combine and teams go goo gaga over. But I do think we're in a prime position to trade down because the Dolphins are going to pick 5. They potentially are in line for a quarterback. So a team like the Raiders or the Chargers may want to trade up and jump them to get a quarterback where we pick. So I do think we're in a position where we could potentially trade down. And yeah, like you asked me on Twitter, I would need a king's ransom. And Chip Kelly, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can imagine Brady retire and Eli signs with the Patriots. Oh my God! Don't do that to me, Chip Kelly. I don't want to see Eli in a Patriots uniform. Don't do that to me. Thanks for the love, feller. And I think I missed one. Oh, John Laterno, man. What's going on, man? $5 super chat, bends the knees. Stand up, the entertainer. Can you root with me for the Eagles to beat the Seahawks since the Giants are done? No harm, no foul. You're the man, my friend. Okay, John, I can never root for the Eagles a day, a second, a minute in my life. But one thing I'm going to tell you guys that it might shock a lot of my Eagles subscribers and a lot of my Giants subscribers. I'm picking the Eagles to win in the wild card round. I'm going to have my playoff video out tomorrow with the predictions, but I've got the Eagles beating the Seahawks in the Battle of the Birds. So there you go. If you're an Eagles fan, I'm picking you guys week 1. I don't believe in the Seahawks. I haven't believed in them all year. You guys have championship pedigree. You're coming off 4 straight wins. I don't believe in Seattle. I'm picking the Eagles to beat them. When do you think we will decide a head coach? Hot shot, good question. And I have the same question. When are we going to get our head coach? The thing that came out today, the Giants are interested in Josh McDaniels. And Josh McDaniels isn't granting any interviews because they're playing on Saturday until next week. So because of that, if they're really interested in him, I don't see them hiring a head coach until such time they can interview him and potentially other coaches. So it could be a multi-week process, but if they're in love with Matt Rule and Matt Rule's in love with them, it could happen fast. There's no timeline on it. Timeline on it. Dave, thanks for the love, man. $5 super chat. Bends the knees. I know. 30 interceptions, Steven Evans. I know. Jameis Winston. Dayman, thank you so much for the love, man. Ben McAdoo for head coach. Dayman, I don't know if that's a joke or not. A lot of Giants fans liked Ben McAdoo after the fact. I was not a fan of him. I don't know if that's a joke or not. Ben McAdoo, to his credit, I will say was a good offensive coordinator with the Giants. He did a good job. And the first year they made the playoffs at 11-5. I always say a lot of it had to do with the free agent acquisitions with Jenkins and everybody else. I was never a huge fan of how he handled the media. I thought he was a little full of himself. But it's not going to happen. But he may make I'm surprised he doesn't have a coordinator job, to be honest with you, McAdoo, somewhere else. Because he was a good offensive coordinator. Malik, thank you for the love, man. $3 super chat. You can't forget about it. But Tom Coughlin is like a president or something. Yeah, he was fired, though. Tom Coughlin was with the Jaguars. He got fired like 2 weeks ago. They completely cleaned house. But that was another rumor that he could potentially come back to the Giants in a similar role. But it didn't happen. Or hasn't happened yet. I don't think it will. Thank you guys for being here, though. I do appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. If Ben McAdoo, Asia, thank you. Asia wants me to be your personal therapist. She says $2 super chat. You can forget about entertainer for head coach. If you guys want me to be the head coach, send in a petition. I'll do. Those guys make millions of dollars. I'll do it for like $50,000. $50,000. I'll do it. I'll be a cheap head coach. I'll try to turn that team around. Let the New York Giants know. Let's see. The Giants Brick City says that they should hire. I haven't done any research on him. Another guy people like is the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, Greg Roman. That's another guy I've done a little research on. Haven't done a ton. If I hear that the New York Giants are potentially interested in him, I will do more research on him. Once I start hearing the names, that's really who I'm going to do my research on. So we got 3 interviews lined up plus Matt Rule. And then obviously any suggestions you guys give me, I'll do some standalone videos on them. Tomorrow, the next couple of days, I'm going to be busy probably, but because of New Year's and everything. But I'll try to get out as many videos as I can. And then after that, I'll start pumping out the coaching videos pretty frequently. Oh, man, thanks for the love, man. John Laterno, a new member of the channel. Thank you for the love, man. Great subscriber of mine, even though he's an Eagles fan. But thank you for being an amazing supporter. Baker Mayfield or Davis Webb for quarterback? Neither. What's up, Randy? Matt Rule is neither offensive or defensive coach particularly. No, he came in as he played linebacker. He came up as a linebacker's coach. I think I don't watch Baylor football games, but I think he's more credited for being a good offensive mind in college. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I don't think he's like known as a specialist on either end of the football. What do I got? Oh, man, thank you. I can't even. I know some people act out the super stickers, Dre Mac. $10 super chat, stand up. I don't know how do I act that out? Do I like roll? It's like a pear that's rolling on his back. How do I do that? Thank you for the love, man. I appreciate that. And Arturo, man, thank you for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, would you take RDC Matt Eberflus for as head coach? I'm not super interested in him, to be honest with you. There's a couple of guys I'm really interested in. I'll do research on him. I've heard some things about him. I will do research on him. Another guy a lot of people like is the defensive coordinator on the 49ers. Everybody always talks about him. And I will do a video on him. A lot of people ask me about him. Asia, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Ben Denise. Tainer for head coach and Bad Dog for defensive coordinator. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Don't spill the I know, I almost did Omkar. Omkar's in the Discord. He was in there the other night. So hopefully some of you guys join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. We talk sports all day, so what's better than that? And they talk about other things, but I can't control that. You sent a super chat, Sperm Cell? Did I miss it? Hold on, I'm sorry, Sperm Cell. Oh, there you go. Sorry. $2 super chat from Sperm Cell. You can forget about it. Making a petition right now. There you go. Sperm Cell is going to get me to be the New York Giants head coach. He's starting it right now. He's an Eagles fan, though. So he wants a crappy New York Giants head coach. So he knows what he's doing. And sorry about that, Sperm, so I missed it. I was rolling around on the floor because of that super sticker. And Mikhail, thank you for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, what's the type of offense does Matt Rule run? I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat could answer that better than me. I'm not 100% sure in terms of the specific offense that he runs. I'm going to do more research as it becomes more and more likely he's going to be the head coach. But I have a lot of great subscribers that are very heavily involved in college football. Big Blue for Life is one of them. I don't know if he's in here. What's up, PTA Sports? Go over there and check him out, by the way. He's got a great channel over there. What's up, Tristan? What's up, King Seahawk? Yeah, he runs the triangle offense. Yeah. He runs the triangle offense. Chris, do you think we can land Tom Coughlin? You love Tom Coughlin. You love Tom Coughlin. What's up, Jack Pollock? Thank you for tuning in. Michael, man, thanks for the love. Oh, my God. Thank you guys so much, man. Michael, with the $3 super chat, you can forget about it. How about Pete Carmichael from New Orleans? That's another name people have brought up to me. There's so many candidates. It's like overwhelming. He's worth an interview for sure. Like I said, right now, Matt, I love Matt Rule. I've watched a number of his speeches. I posted one on Twitter today. He's a great motivator. I love his history of flipping programs. He's my number one guy. Ron Rivera I loved. I would have loved Rivera as well. He's going to be a Redskin. And after that, there's a number of guys that I'd potentially be interested in. And I don't want to miss that there. John Williams, man, thanks for that, man. $2 super chat. You can forget about it. Fish Vegas will address the media. Yes, Fish Vegas will address the media. Yes. Fish Vegas would address the media. Yeah, that would be a very fun press conference every time Fish Vegas came out and addressed the media. And Malik, man, thanks for the love, man. I appreciate that, man. $5 super chat. You can bends the knees. I respect to the Eagles because they're the only other team that beat the Patriots, but against the Giants, no respect. No one else in the NFL. Well, yeah, they beat the Patriots like us, which kind of pissed me off because we were the only team that were able to beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and I had to share it with them. But, yeah, they did beat the Patriots, and I still don't respect them. I will say this. I always say it. I do respect the Eagles fans. I think the Eagles fans are some of the best fans of football, and it pains me to say that. I do think they have some of the most passionate fans of football, and I didn't know that until I got on YouTube, but some of the most educated fans I've ever talked to and passionate fans are Eagles fans. Now, some of them are crazy. Some of them are, but they do have very good fans. And let me get the next one here. Cory Littleton, I saw somebody wrote that real quick. I love Cory Littleton if he's available. I think he fits the 3-4 perfectly. He would be my number one choice as a middle linebacker in the 3-4. And David, thanks for the love, man. $5 super chat, bends the knees. What's up, BMG Kev 2 Saucy? Thanks for popping in. Ravens defensive coordinator Don Mertendale. He is high on the list for candidates. NFL.com coach tracker. We can interview him during the Ravens bye week. Okay, let me write that down. Because I will do a video on him. I will do some research on him. I don't know when I'm going to have it out because New Year's Eve. But I will have a lot of these videos out, and I will do one on him. David Martindale. Thank you. Thank you very much. A couple of guys have asked about him, and I know Greg Roman's another guy. So I'll write a couple of these guys down, and thank you very much, man. And let me get the, I think there was another one. I don't want to miss anything. Chizola, what's going on, my man? Thank you for being here, buddy. Chizola with the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He runs RPOs, little afraid, but runs a lot. Well, I do think Daniel Jones can use a little more of the RPOs. Actually, is one of the best plays we ran yesterday was the RPO. But I agree with you. I don't want to see him running all over the football field because then you're just asking for injuries. So I agree with that. There you go, Sperm Cell. Sperm Cell just made a petition for me to be the New York Giants head coach. Thank you, Sperm Cell. $2 super chat. You can forget about it. He's gonna post it, and there you go. I might be leading the New York Giants before you know it, and you won't have to watch my annoying videos any longer. You won't get 10 notifications a day. Instead, you'll see me doing the press conferences. Thank you, Damian, man. Thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Eli should be the defensive coach. A lot of people bring up Eli Manning and coaching. And I don't know, I personally think he never had that personality to be a head coach or a coordinator, in my personal opinion. I just think he's going to want to spend time with his family. He's got a lot of young kids. Listen, I love Eli. He's my favorite player of all time. I never hide that. I'm wearing his jersey still. This guy's retired as a Giant. I'm still wearing his jersey. I saw the headline today in the New York Post. And the headline said, I'm paraphrasing maybe a little bit, but it basically said, he's going to play he wants to be anywhere but the New York Giants because he's so sick of being a backup. Or he may retire. So we'll see. But I don't see him being a coach. I could be wrong though. Eli is going to retire after the Super Bowl and raise his children and stay. Yeah, I agree with you, Geomon. I completely agree with you. This guy has legit cannoli finger. What's up, Radical Sim, man? Thanks for popping into the stream, my man. He says OBJ headed to New England. He's been rumored to be really interested in the Patriots for a long time. He loves Tom Brady. He's always praised him. It's possible. And you saw what they did with Moss. It's possible. They might try to add a weapon for Tom Brady, with another year or two left to go. Man, thanks for the love, man, David. $5 Super Chat, bends the knees. Are you going to do a vid on Mike McCarthy? I've already done a vid on Mike McCarthy. If you go back in my timeline, it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I did a vid on Mike McCarthy. Our defense would be tremendously upgraded if we sign an elite veteran slot corner. Yeah, you could do that. Slot corner's been a big problem for us, and I've had a lot of people say that we need to get an elite slot corner because of teams have exploited us. But by the same token, you could make adjustments. Like you could spy their best receiver. We've gotten killed in the slot, but we haven't made any adjustments. And Betcher's been on record. The reason he doesn't move Jenkins or Baker into the slot when they're guarding the number one is because they're all young, and he doesn't want them playing out of position. I think we can get by with Love if we get a good safety, but we'll see how it plays out in the offseason, man. Thanks for the love, buddy. Let's see. Chisholm, man, thanks for the love, man. $5 Super Chat, bends the knees. It's good that Matt Rule's offense runs a lot. He runs a good amount of RPOs, but he loves running, and we could finally use Saquon the right way. I didn't know that, like, the technical offense that he ran, but I did hear that he was very run-heavy, which obviously is going to be very welcoming to New York Giants fans' ears. It's a big reason why, not the biggest, but one of the bigger reasons I was a big fan of Rivera because of how he utilized Christian McCaffrey. And it's the same thing with Rule. He does run the football a lot, which when you have Saquon Barkley, that's a big plus. And that, I didn't even think about that, Chisolo. That may be a big attractive feature that the Giants can provide Matt Rule. Because he likes to run the football, he might look at Saquon Barkley and he might be like, I could use this guy in my offense. So that's a good point you bring up. And Chip Kelly, man, thanks for that, man. $2 Super Chat. You can't forget about it. He says Eli just wants to get high and chill by the pool. Yeah, probably. Probably. Do you remember Eli Manning with the shirtless pics after they won their Super Bowl? He must have gained, I've never seen a quarterback more focused that year, 2011. And then as soon as they won the Super Bowl, he must have gained 25 pounds with the shirtless pics with the bathing suit on. Remember that? Or maybe that was in 2008. I can't remember. Rocha, man, thanks for loving. And if you guys haven't done so, go on over to Rocha and check out his channel. $2 Super Chat. You can't forget about it. He says, stand up, NFC. Yeah. NFC West champion, the San Francisco 49ers, the number 1 seed. You guys literally got the number 1 seed in home field advantage throughout the playoffs by an inch. By an inch. Insane. And then, obviously, the penalty, too. The delay of game. Let me try to get to a couple questions here. You guys are incredible. Thank you guys so much. The guy, what's going on, the guy? Chris, do you think Rule, I just want to read your question, Big Blue, because I know you type a lot. Chris, do you think Rule to the Giants is pretty much a lock? Okay, I'm going to answer that right after the Super Chat. I'm going to keep it on you. The guy, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Bends the knees. We are 1 retirement from Gettleman and a Pats lost on Sunday for the door to start to open for Bill Belichick to coming back to the Giants. I asked that earlier, the guy. So many people asked me to do that video today, and I've had people on Twitter ask me to do that. I've had a ton of people ask me to do the Bill Belichick to the Giants video, and I haven't done it because, quite frankly, I haven't looked at it as a realistic possibility, and everybody keeps asking me to do it. I may do it. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. I don't want to just do something crazy. I just don't see it, but I might do it. We'll see. Chris, do you think Rule to the Giants is pretty much a lock? Big Blue says. No, I don't think it's a lock. I still worry about Gettleman. I still worry about that dynamic, even though he coached with Gettleman on the roster. So there is that connection. I don't think it's a lock, but I hope it happens, and I think it very well could. Let's put it this way. I think it's much more possible right now than I did when I first heard that Gettleman was coming back. After hearing some of the things I've heard on Twitter and things like that, I think it's much more possible than I did 8 hours ago. But it's not. I don't think it's a lock. Chizola, man, thanks for the love, man. $5 super chat, bends the knees. Quran by David Cutcliffe for head coach. I don't see that happening. A lot of people have brought that up. I don't see that happening. Chizola says, Rule runs the physical pro-style attack with a mix of Chip Kelly spread offense, and yes, Saquon would be a god for Rule because Saquon is the best. Yeah, that's a great point you brought up, that he might look at the pieces we have in this offense. Daniel Jones fits that style very well. He could do an RPO. Saquon Barkley, the most dynamic running back in football, and that might be a contributing factor to bringing Matt Rule in. That's a really good point you brought up. I should have mentioned that in my Matt Rule video. I didn't even think about it. It was a really good point you brought up. What is bends the knees? DJ, it's what I say when I do a basketball stream, and people laugh every time I do it. So every time I get a $5 super chat, I say it. When somebody's shooting free throws, I go, and he bends the knees. Let's see what we got here. Do you believe DeAndre Baker? Please answer. Yes, Bowler, I do believe in DeAndre Baker. He's a rookie. I don't know if he's going to be an unbelievable corner, but I do think he'll be a starting caliber corner in the NFL and has upside. I loved him. If you watch, I don't know how long you've been subscribed to me, but if you watch my channel before the draft last year, I had the Giants getting him with the 17th pick in multiple mocks. I thought he was the best corner in last year's draft. I'm a big believer in DeAndre Baker. I like DeAndre Baker a lot. Now, he's had his ups and downs. He's kind of been like Daniel Jones in a sense, where when he's good, he's really good. And when he's bad, he's really bad. But obviously Daniel Jones had more highs. But I do think DeAndre Baker could still be a very good cornerback. And I'm a huge fan of Isaiah Simmons, by the way. I saw somebody in the chat post that. I don't know if we're going to take him at 4 or not. But I've watched so many highlights of this kid now over the last 4 days. Isaiah Simmons is a beast. I love Isaiah Simmons. I think he's gonna move up those mocks. And Watch Doctor, thanks for letting me in. $5 super chat, bends the knees. Rule runs 55% of the time with the spread, and defensively a 3-3 stack defense with 3 D linemen, 3 linebackers, and 5 DBs nickel D with blitzing schemes. So there you go. Kind of similar to what we do now. Betcher's system is weird because sometimes you'll have a 4 up front, sometimes you have 3 up front, sometimes you have 3 and 2, and so he mixes it up as well, but somewhat translatable to a 3-4, and maybe some of the personnel we have too on defense, and it's a blitzing defense as well. Asia, thank you for the love. $5 super chat, bends the knees. I just voted for you for head coach, and share it on Twitter. Well, thank you very much, Asia. I appreciate that, Asia, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at Citi Field. I saw her last year when I went to the Mets game. Thank you very much. And Malik with the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Did you see Mike Too Nice's grades video and your opinion? I have not seen it yet. I did see the thumbnail. I was so busy. I made 5 videos today because I'm a lunatic. But I did see it, and I'm going to watch it later tonight. He's one of my favorite video makers on YouTube. And I cannot wait to work with Mike Too Nice next year. We have conflicting schedules right now, but can't wait to work with him. He's one of my favorite guys on YouTube. I love his channel. And I'm definitely going to check it out. Let's see what we got here. You guys are the best, by the way. Thank you to everybody for being here. I'm sorry if I'm missing your questions. I'm trying to get to them all. And I'll go, late. I'll try to get to everybody's questions. Thank you guys for being here. I do appreciate it. I heard Rule gushing over Getty in an older interview. Yes, somebody told me that today, Lolly, that there's been history in the past where he's actually liked Gettleman a lot. So that might be part of the reason why it's his dream job. I mean, he grew up in New York. They said that the Jets were his dream job as well. Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's 30. One thing about Taysom Hill, and I've been a big fan of Taysom Hill. I love Taysom Hill. I would love to have a quarterback like Taysom Hill. As a guy that you bring in for 5-6 plays a game like the Saints do. But the Giants had a guy. I always forget the guy's name from Syracuse, I think it was, where he didn't quite make the roster. I couldn't believe how old Taysom Hill is. Taysom Hill's 30 years old. I was shocked because I felt like he was only in the league for like 2 years, 3 years. He's 30 years old. But no, he's not a quarter. He's not. What do you mean? Is like a backup quarterback? I mean, maybe, but why would the Saints let him go? Man, thank you so much, man, Malik, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for being a new member, man. And I'm going to start doing the giveaways for the members soon. I'll just say it now. I've said it in several streams. Thank you guys for all your support. once I hit 25 members, I'm going to start doing a monthly giveaway for a fitted hat once a month. And I'm not one of these channels that, like, I want people to have to pay for my content. I know a lot of people use that for that. But I do want, like, people who are paid members to have something. So another thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to do it if I got, like, 10 people. But once I have, like, 30, 35 people, I'm going to do one private Q&A a month for, like, 2 hours with just my members. So I felt like that was fair. But I don't want to have any, like, exclusive content because I want everybody to be able to watch it. But I would do something like this for like 2 hours once a month with my members. So that's what I have planned for members. But thank you, buddy. Stealth. Don't worry. Stealth, you're the man. You're the man. Harrison says, first time on the live, but a big fan. Thank you for the quality content on the New York Giants, man. It means a lot. Harrison, man, thank you for watching, man, and thank you for supporting my channel, man. That means a lot. Everybody in here, thank you. I can never say it enough. You guys are what drive me to make as much content as I do, so thank you. Who's ever watching, thank you guys. Chris, Baylor plays Georgia on Wednesday, so he can't take interviews. Yes, and then the rumors on Twitter today that I read, but who knows, it's probably fabricated, were that the New York Giants were flying to Baylor before the game on Wednesday, but I believe it when I see it. Whitney, what's going on? Whitney, thank you for tuning in to the stream. Yes, Jew who swings snakes. The most unpolitically correct name of all time. I always love when you pop into my streams. I love you. I love every inch of your soul. I'm a big fan of Caden Smith. We do have a hard schedule next year. That I want to have a video out on tomorrow. I plan on having a schedule breakdown. I was going to do it today, and then the coach. I'm like, I got to dedicate the day to the coach, and the potential guys that we could bring in. But tomorrow, I will have the schedule video. Caden Smith, I'm a big fan of Caden Smith, and that was a very good find by Dave Gettleman. 6th round pick, went to the 49ers, and I think he's the exact type of tight end. I haven't been able to sip my coffee. That's what always happens when I do these Q&As. 1 second. I think that's the exact type of tight end that New York Giants fans have been calling for. A guy that can block, a guy that can catch the football. He's not like the greatest athlete in the world. And I made a video. A lot of Giants fans killed me for it. And I'll get to that in 1 second, Kevin Broadway. I made a video, and a lot of Giants fans killed me for it. Just bring up the possibility of looking to trade Evan Engram. Because the guy's always hurt, and he's not a very good blocker. So I'm not just saying trade him to trade him, but if you get a late second-round pick for him, and I don't know if you would, but if you could, because of the emergence of Caden Smith, and because of the ability to possibly bring in another tight end late in the draft, I think it makes sense for a late second-round pick, because I don't necessarily think the Giants are going to keep him past this year. So, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Caden Smith. I think Caden Smith could be a big part of this team in the future. Kevin, man, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Saquon is positive, weak, and turn things around. I almost did a video on that today as well, but I was like, I did way too many already. I read that Barkley's positive, and read all the quotes from Barkley and Jones and all the players talking about Pat leaving. And obviously that was, listen, guys, I like Pat as a person. I think Pat's a really nice guy, and it's why I was kind of rooting for him for a lot of the year. And, oh, man, Anthony, man, thanks for love, man. I really appreciate that, man. Anthony Mangabang, a new member, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for joining the channel, man. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. But I was rooting for Pat, probably halfway through the year, because I thought he meant a lot to the development of Daniel Jones. And to his credit, he did that well. But I got to a point where I'm like, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's not a good head coach. And New York Giants fans are not going to allow this guy to come back. And I think the Giants came to that realization at the end of the year. And we're going to have a new head coach. Breaking news, Saquon requests a trade. That is not true. Let's see what we got here. Will Darius Slaton be our next great wide receiver? A lot of people have asked me about that. Darius Slaton. Could he be a number one? Could he be the next Beckham? I think that's far-fetched. I like Darius Slaton a lot. If Darius Slaton could be a good number two, sign me up right now. If he could be a guy that goes out there, gets me 850, 900 yards every year, sign me up right now. Could he be better? Sure. Anything's possible. There's been several wide receivers drafted late in drafts. Victor Cruz was undrafted. He's one of the greatest New York Giant receivers ever. So anything's possible. And he's got a lot of upside. He's fast. He's tall. I'm not gonna put those kind of expectations on him. But I think he could be very good. Would I sign Taysom Hill? Yeah, I mean, sure. For a cheap price, why not? I just don't see the Saints letting him go. Let's see what we got here. Queer's question: If we hire Rule, do you think he will accept Chris Richard as a defensive coordinator? That's a good question. That's why I made that. Actually, Bavith gave me the idea. To be completely fair, I should have said that. I don't know if he's in here, but I should have said that in the video. Bavith gave me the idea when we were in the Discord and I was talking about it. And he's like, I don't think they'd bring him in for a head coach, but maybe as a defensive coordinator. And I just don't know if Matt Rule. I don't. You're not going to force a DC on Matt Rule. Maybe it's possible they know that Matt Rule's probably going to be the coach, so they're bringing Richard in to talk to him about being a potential defensive coordinator. I suppose that's possible to pick his brain. Who knows? But I honestly don't. A lot of people said that they're just bringing him in for the Rooney Rule. I think it's one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's one. You have to interview one. I don't know if it's minority or African American. I don't know the rules, but I think it's one candidate you have to. But the thing is, they're interviewing 2 African Americans. They're interviewing Eric Bieniemy as well. So I don't know. Maybe they are really seriously interested in at least Bieniemy, or both. But I don't view him as a. What's up, Rashad? Thank you for 1 minute. Okay, Cruz on. It's 1 minute. Okay, I don't view him as a head coach, Chris Richard, because he was a defensive coordinator for Seattle. He did a good job, but then he got demoted. I think, anyway, from what I read in his biography. And then he's not even a defensive coordinator with the Cowboys. He's a secondary coach. I don't think he has the resume to be a head coach. Personally, I'd be more interested in the other candidates. But as a defensive coordinator, I'd be interested as a defensive coordinator. Robbie Anderson, what about? I don't want to spend money on a wide receiver in free agency. I don't. He's going to cost a lot. I don't want to spend money on him. We have way too many holes. Way too many holes. We're going to have probably $70 million after Leonard Williams, and we got to use that on pass rushers. We got to use that on tackle. We got to use that on center. We got too many holes. What's up, Dab City? He played under Matt Rule in Temple. I don't know how much he's going to cost, but from what I've read, he's going to be one of the higher-priced wide receivers in free agency. Byron Jones I like. He's probably the best corner available, or one of, even though he regressed a little bit this year. He's one of the better corners, one of the big-name corners out there. He's a potential. That's your Christmas gift? Malik says, all right. I'm trying to read this. I agree, Chris. Halpio's gone. Halpio's gone. He's hurt. He's out all next year. Pumpkin, he got hurt. He's out all next year, I think I read. It looks like Yannick Ngakoue will hit free agency after he was posting earlier. Thank you so much, man. Jeremy Johnson says, who exactly do you think is the most... All right, let me just read that, and then I'll go back to the Yannick Ngakoue. Who exactly do you think is the most in the NFL draft, by the way? I love your content. Keep it up. I've been subscribed for 5 months. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. And he says, who exactly do you want the most in the NFL draft? Okay, for me right now, in the 4 spot, for me it's either Andrew Thomas or it's Isaiah Simmons. I love Isaiah Simmons. The more I've watched this kid, and I'll give my subscribers credit, they've put me on to him. Every video I do, they say Isaiah Simmons. And I was watching the Clemson game, and I was watching some highlights, and I'm a big fan of Isaiah Simmons, especially in the 3-4 defense. He's undersized for a middle linebacker, but he could play the position. He could play some safety. I like him a lot. He's very active. I'm a big Isaiah Simmons guy. Big. How can I become a member? There's like a join button. You click the join button, and then that's how. Why is it? Betcher's going to be fired. Don't worry about it. Betcher is gone. I promise you. Betcher's gone. Book this. If the Giants bring in another Shermer, Daniel will be a bust. I certainly hope not, man. We do still have a need for corner as well, Cruzon. It's a good point you bring up. Okuda, obviously. We could take him at 4. He's moved up mocks as well, I've noticed. Because I've started to look at the mocks now. I'm hoping to have a mock in a week. I'm probably going to have my first mock draft up in a week. I'm going to do a full first round. And the Giants' second pick. I'm going to do that in every mock. I'll do a complete first round, and then the 4th overall selection. I'll skip 1, 2, and 3, but I'll do the 4th overall selection in the second round for the Giants. And Okuda I've seen him going in 3 to the Lions a lot. So he's moved up. I've seen him going to the Giants as well in a couple of them. A lot of people like Okudah. Wade Phillips. I'm a Wade Phillips guy. Wade Phillips is, in my opinion, has always been one of the better defensive coordinators. Always. Hamilton sucks. Hamilton is garbage. But he shouldn't be playing. You know, we don't have. He should be a backup player. Shaq Barrett is a must sign for a pass. I like Shaq Barrett. The one thing I've said about Shaq Barrett all year, though, the only thing that worries me about Shaq Barrett, and I like Shaq Barrett a lot. I remember doing free agent. I'm gonna give myself a little pat on the back. The 2 players that I loved last year, if you go back and look at my free agency vids, that were bargain players, that were pass rushers, and one of them did not turn out to be a bargain. He got way more paid than most people expected. But I loved Shaq Barrett, and I loved Darius Smith. And both of them hit big. But the thing I worry about with Shaq Barrett is he's only had 1 year of top-tier production. And is he doing it to get paid? And then is he going to fall off? So that's the only worry I have with Shaq Barrett. But I'm not going to cry if we get him, that's for sure. Yeah, Andrew Thomas. What's up, Sam, man? Thanks for popping in, man. Great subscriber of mine. Let's see what we got here. Chris Leone says, what are your thoughts about the Giants interviewing the Chiefs offense? I like Bieniemy from what I've read. He's not near my first choice, but I like that he coached under Andy Reid. Listen, Andy Reid's one of my favorite coaches in football. I think he's one of the most brilliant offensive minds. I think he's certainly a solid candidate to at least interview for sure. Let's see what we got here. Ngakoue. That's who I meant to talk about before. Jay from the UK. Thank you for reminding me. Somebody brought him up. I haven't read up on it because I've been so busy with the coaching and everything. He said that Ngakoue is probably going to hit the market. Ngakoue, to me, is probably the most attractive edge rusher. When you factor in age and everything else and upside, I like Yannick a lot. That, to me, he's going to get paid, but he's very attractive. I like Yannick Ngakoue a lot. Let's see what we got here. Delano, what's up, Delano, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Thank you for being here. Can you do trivia? I probably will. Not now, but in the offseason, after the draft and everything, when there's not a lot of content to do, I'll probably do trivia every once in a while. Arturo, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can forget about it. Thoughts on Herbert and Jordan Love? I've seen. I like Herbert. I liked Herbert a lot last year when he was supposedly going to come out. And thank you again, Arturo. Jordan Love has been really moving up mocks, and Herbert has really been moving back. I saw Herbert falling out of the first round. I was on CBS Sports, and they had Herbert outside of the first round in 2 out of the 3 mocks, and they had the Patriots taking him at 28 in the other. I like Herbert. I liked Herbert last year. He doesn't do anything spectacular, but I think he could be a very good quarterback. I like, especially if he ends up on the Patriots. I like Herbert. I do. And who knows where they're going to end up after the combine, things change. But, yeah, they're both good, solid prospects. Karan saying, thank you for the love. $2 super chat. You can forget about it. Antonio Hamilton equals BW Webb. I want Matt Rule's job, please. There you go. I want. No, I thought you meant that you wanted the head coach. Yeah, we all want Matt Rule. And yeah, BW Webb was garbage. Antonio Hamilton's horrible. We saw that in the first game this year when the Giants played the Cowboys. And I'm watching the game. I'm streaming the game, and I'm like, who the hell is number 30? You know, like, we're all excited to see DeAndre Baker for the first time. We're all excited to see the defense. And I see number 30 getting burnt time and time again. I'm like, who the hell is Antonio Hamilton? He's so bad. I didn't know why he was playing. What's our upside? I love Littleton. Somebody asked me about him earlier. Love him. One of my favorite free agents in this year's class. Our upside, what's going on, Adam? Thank you for popping in the stream. Okay. I did a video on Littleton, so if you want to check that out, you can. I gave my opinion on him. But I'll do that question first, then I'll do the upside. I'll try to remember it. Littleton, to me, is the best 3-4 middle linebacker that may potentially be available on the free agency market. I'm a big fan of Littleton. I like his story. The guy was a special teamer. He in 2018, he worked his ass off. He became a starter, played at a near Pro Bowl level, and this year, actually he made the Pro Bowl, but I think it was for special teams. And this year, he's playing his ass off. I mean, he's incredible. Every time I watch a Rams game, the guy's great in coverage. Unbelievable in coverage. I'm a big fan of Littleton. And then as far as our upside, it's hard for me to say that right now because I don't know who we're going to draft. I don't know who we're going to add in free agency, and I don't know who our head coach is going to be. But if we do some things right, why can't we be an 8, 9, 10 win team next year? Why can't we compete for the playoffs? I don't see why not. We have a lot of cap space. We have a lot of young players that should get better. Upside, I'll say 10, 11 wins. It's the NFL. Things change every year. What's going on, Kyle? Thanks for being here, buddy. Michael, what's going on, Urza? He says, trade Shepard, bring back Alonzo Russell. Your dream scenario free agent pickups and first rounder. Wow, a lot of questions. I'm trying to remember these. I would rather trade down than trade up. My dream scenario free agent pickup and first rounder. Okay. Ngakoue probably because of his age. I'm a big fan of Ngakoue and Littleton. Both those guys that were mentioned I like a lot. Conklin, if he's healthy, is another guy I really like. And I'm probably leaning Isaiah Simmons right now, but I would not be upset with Andrew Thomas at all. One of those two players would be who I'd want. Tomorrow should be news on Rule. I hope so. That'd be great. Is James Betcher gone too with Pat? Yes, James Betcher's gone. Everybody's asking me about that. He's gone. They haven't announced it, but he's gone. He could. Darius Slaton could be a number one guy, but are you going to do mock drafts? Does a bear shit in the woods? Alex Sports, is the Pope Catholic? Yeah. You're going to have so many mock drafts on this channel that you're going to be mock drafted out. You're going to be like, oh my God, I never want to hear the word mock draft again. You're going to hate me. Yes. I'm going to do a lot of mock drafts. Yeah. That'll be starting next week or the end of this week. What's up, Jesse Green? Thank you for tuning in the stream. And Corey Coleman will not be back. Does an Italian eat gabagool? Let's see what we got here. A Catholic bear, Charles Davis. Thoughts on Mike McCarthy? As far as Mike McCarthy goes, Mike McCarthy, very accomplished head coach. He's got, I forgot his record, but, well over 500. Won a Super Bowl. I like some of his beginnings when I did research on him. I'm not in love with him. I do think a lot of his success was due to Aaron Rodgers, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not in love with Mike McCarthy. I think the other thing I don't like about Mike McCarthy was he couldn't get along with Aaron Rodgers at the end. The quarterback didn't like him, but maybe the year off, you read the stories about him studying, having a staff, and trying to become a better head coach in the offseason. Maybe that plays a factor. I think it's rather alarming that the Jets chose Adam Gase over Mike McCarthy. And a lot of people got on the Jets for that, but there had to be reasoning behind that. I don't know. Why would they do that? So, I don't know. I'm not in love with Mike McCarthy. I would prefer a defensive-minded head coach, personally. Telvin Smith? I didn't even know he was a free agent, Telvin Smith. Imagine if we kept Weston Richburg or Brett Jones. I would have rather kept Brett Jones. Weston Richburg, if I remember correctly, got paid a good amount of money. And Brett Jones played a lot better after we got rid of him. But let's see what we got here. What's going on, Michael? Thanks for popping in. Been a subscriber for a while and truly enjoy your content. Although I don't ever talk, I agree Betcher will be fired. But why wouldn't they have fired at the same time Shermer was gone? To be honest with you, I don't have that the answer to that question, TD, and I appreciate you for being a great subscriber. Maybe they're doing the only thing I could think of, and I don't have, and maybe somebody else can answer this question. What's up, Nick Howard? Thanks for popping in. What's going on, RK Masam? Thank you everybody for being here. Maybe somebody could answer this question because I'm trying to think to other instances where head coaches were fired and they left the coordinators on momentarily. But the only thing I could think of is possibly they're leaving those guys on for when they bring on the head coach, he can make the decision of whether or not he wants to retain them as the coordinators. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But I don't know. Chris, give us a sneak peek of the first 4 picks in your mock draft. I haven't decided yet, Chuck. I mean, obviously I'm going Burrow 1. I'm going Chase Young 2 to you guys. 3, I'm up in the air. There's a couple of guys. I haven't decided yet. But the top 2, that's locked in. That's locked in. And I'm not giving you the Giants pick yet. What are you, a lunatic? I might have the Giants trading down in the first mock. I might do that. And I'm definitely going to have a lot different mocks where the Giants do a variety of things. Trade down out of the first, trade back up into the first from the second, things like that. But yeah. Let's see what we got here. Is there any chance Chase Young fails like Josh Allen? Fails like Josh Allen? You think Josh Allen failed? Oh, falls. Maybe I read that wrong. I was going to say. No, I don't think so. Do you think we trade down to number 2? Trade up to number 2? Trade up to number 2. Do I think we trade up to number 2? No. The Redskins are not going to trade out of number 2, especially being a division rival. Especially being that Chase Young is there. No. We got to face it, guys. We're going to be facing Chase Young for the next 15 years. He's going to be a Redskin. I don't see any way they trade out of that pick. If we lose, I would love to hire Chris Richard as our DC. A lot of people like Chris Richard. And one thing that surprised me, Rocha, when I made that Chris Richard video today, there was a lot of people in the comments who had never heard of him. And he's been like, especially as a Giants, like they talk about him every time we play the Cowboys, you hear about him. And he's been really talked about. A lot of people like him. I just don't think he's head coach material. But defensive coordinator, yeah, I agree with you. I think he'd be a really good defensive coordinator. I'm not saying he can't be a head coach one day. I just think there's much better candidates out there right now to be a head coach. Do you think the Giants hire a coach tomorrow? No, probably not. If they do, it'll probably be Matt Rule. If they do hire one soon. Did Wayne Gallman leave? No, he's still on the Giants. Chase Young will hunt number 8 down and cause numerous fumbles. Oh, Jeffrey, please. Jeffrey, I love you. You're a great subscriber to my channel. You tune in all my live streams. You watch all my videos. What can we do, Jeffrey? Because we all love Jeffrey. What can we do to convince Jeffrey Abbey to believe a little bit in Daniel Jones? Just a little bit. What can we do? What's up, Jeff? I want a head coach, no DC or OC. We can't mess this up. Yeah, I hear you. Marjorie. I hear you. I agree with you. I would prefer a guy with head coaching experience. Giants probably won't hire no one probably in a month or so. We'll see. He's killing himself. He has to stop fumbling, and I'll believe. He fumbles every game. Okay, so he's got to stop fumbling. Hopefully he stops fumbling next year. Would you, hoping we lost against the Skins to get Chase Young, or do you not believe in rooting against your own team ever? Gregor, if I'm being completely honest, I think I tried to be as, understanding and fair as possible. Going into that game, once a game starts, I find it very hard to root for my team to lose. But let's put it this way. If the Giants lost to the Redskins, I wouldn't have been crying about it. I would have been like, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, we're in a good spot here. We're going to get Chase Young. Or we're going to have the number 2 pick and get to decide whoever we want to take. So I was not rooting for them to lose, but I wasn't. In the back of my head during the game, I'm like, all right, well, if we lose, it's not the end of the world. Let's put it that way. I would keep Engram and Caden. I'm not against doing that. Do you think that the Jaguars' old head coach could get a job? Or he could. Doug Marrone you're talking about? It's possible. Trevor Lawrence is a bitch, soft as hell. You don't like Trevor Lawrence? Interesting. Giants to trade up with the Bengals to get Chase Young. I don't see it. I made a video on that because people asked me to. Realistically, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. Because Joe Burrow is too good of a prospect. He's played too well. I think the Bengals are going to stay there and take their quarterback. Let's see what we got here. Whoa, it's starting to move and groove. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. If you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell. Let me give you guys a quick intro. What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And today we're going to talk about Pat Shurmur and how he was one of the worst coaches in the NFL and now will be collecting unemployment. The New York Giants will be on the coaching search for several potential candidates. Eric Bieniemy is lined up for an interview along with a few others. Matt Rule is projected to potentially be a New York Giants head coach. Let's see what we got here. The god dang intro. Would you take Young if he fell to number 4? Lestat said. Yeah. Yes. Chris, you think we could trade Engram for Coughlin? You're obsessed with Tom Coughlin. You're obsessed with Tom Coughlin. Oh, man, thanks for the love, man. Saw my Broccoli Rob with the $5 super chat. Ben Zanise, hello, Christopher. Great news today. I appreciate that, Mike Moreno, man. Thank you for being a great supporter, man. Saw my Broccoli Rob says Wentz has like 48 fumbles in 55 games, and Abby thinks he's a great quarterback. Maybe he has a biased agenda over the kid. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Carson Wentz, though, I agree with that. And I remember pointing that out when I did my, and thank you for the love, saw my Broccoli Rob. I remember when I did my PFF video, I said that in the video. I said, and I get fumbling's a problem. But why don't you hear about it about Carson Wentz? The guy's got 50 fumbles over the course of his career. He played a full season his rookie year. He played 13 games his second year. And he played, 11 games last year. So that's 24, 40. He's played about 55, 56 games. So he's averaging like a fumble a game, which is what Daniel Jones did this year. Why don't you ever hear about that with Carson Wentz? Why is Carson Wentz like this elite quarterback? I don't know. You tell me. Let's see what we got here. Pat Shurmur has a small Schmeat. Schmeat will no longer be with the New York Giants. His Schmeat got canned today. Do you think the Giants will trade up for number 2 in the draft? Do I think the Giants will trade up for number? No, the Redskins aren't trading out of it. I'm not saying that he's not better. I agree right now Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones, Jeffrey. But what he's basically saying, and I think he's right. I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about people who get on him for that problem. You never hear people, you hear Giants fans praise Carson Wentz. Why don't they ever bring up that about him? He's got just as much of a problem, and he's 4 years into his career. Oh, thank you so much, Canan, for the $5 super chat. Ben Zanise, he says, top 3 head coach choices, assuming Riverboat Ron is gone. Thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate that, buddy. Top 3, rather. Matt Rule is number 1. Far and away right now for me. Matt Rule's number 1. I don't love McCarthy, but he's the most accomplished out there. I don't know if he's number 2 for me, though. Oh, McDaniel. I'm not a fan of McDaniel. I don't really love a lot of these coaches. For me, it's almost Rule or nothing for me, but I'll name some of the other guys. Bieniemy, from some of the research I've done, I've liked some of the things I've read. McDaniels, everybody likes him as a quarterback guy. I get that. Those are some of the names. I guess McCarthy's got to be in my top 3, personally, even though I don't love him, because he's got a lot of success in the NFL. So those are some of the names. McCarthy's probably in my top 3, but far and away from me right now is Matt Rule. Far and away. And Cruz on, man, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, Lawrence could play, but he came off soft Saturday. Sunday, you mean, right? Oh, you're talking about the quarterback. I thought you were talking about Dexter Lawrence. Yeah. Well, he ran for like 100 yards, didn't he, in the game? I like Lawrence, man. I think Lawrence is going to be really good. He's, we'll see, but I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. Who knows? But when I watched him in that national championship last year, my mouth just dropped. Because I saw him fit it into tight window after tight window after tight window against that Alabama defense. And that was incredible performance. I'm a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. Would you consider trading Shepard and draft? Oh, man, Sebastian, thank you so much. Let me just read this one question real quick. I don't like to skip people's questions. Would you consider trading Sterling Shepard and drafting a true number 1 wide receiver? I wouldn't be against trading Sterling Shepard, but the problem is, what are you going to get? The guy has a concussion history. He's got an injury history. He's making a lot of money. You're trading him at the wrong time. He doesn't have a ton of value. So that's what I worry about. Sebastian, man, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate that, Sebastian, man. $10 super chat. Stand up. Crazy scenario, but imagine Bill Belichick leaving the Patriots to coach the Giants, rejoining his team after so many years. I mean, there has been vague rumors lately. Love your show. We will stand tall. Thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate that, man. And people have been asked. I have never gotten a request for a video more than that one since I've been on YouTube. And I haven't made it because I don't know if you've been here the whole time, Sebastian, but I basically explained, like, I never thought it was like a realistic possibility. But people keep asking me to do it. And I might do it. I haven't decided yet. A lot of people asking me to do a Bill Belichick video. I think a lot would have to happen. I personally don't see it happening. But I will say this. If there was ever a team that Bill Belichick was going to coach outside of the Patriots, I think it would be the New York Giants. I just don't know if I just don't see it happening. The dynasty is over, Matador says. Bring him home. Would you be considered trading Shepard, say something good, and draft Judy? Toxic. Yeah, somebody just asked me about Shepard. I mean, if I'm going to get something good for Shepard, sure. But who in their right mind is going to pay a decent price for a wide receiver who's, I forgot what he's making. I think he's making like $10 million a year. He had 2 concussions this year. He's had injuries. What do you think you're getting for Shepard? Because I don't think we're getting much. I don't see us getting much for him with his contract and his injury history. So I just don't see him as a guy that's an asset. That's why I brought up Evan Engram, because I think Evan Engram is more attractive for 2 reasons. He's had injury history, but he doesn't have the concussion thing that Shepard's got going on. Plus, he's still on an affordable contract. Shepard's getting paid a lot. So I don't even think we're getting a 3rd rounder. He was a 2nd-round pick. I think we get like a 5th rounder. And stand up, Jedi. Thank you for being here. Chris, I signed the petition for you to be... Oh, I appreciate that, Chris Leon. Tane, if you become the Giants head coach and Gettleman is fired, can I be the GM? Absolutely, Mike. I love Shepard, Kev. Shepard's one of my favorite guys on the Giants. I'm not trashing his play. I'm just saying, when you think about trading players, you have to take into account his contract and his injury history. And right now, he's not as appealing as a lot of other players because of that. But I like Shepard a lot. I'm a big fan of Shepard. Let's see what we got here. Chris, can the Bengals want Trevor Lawrence? Please read. The Bengals are going to take Joe Burrow. That's like a foregone conclusion. Do you think Matt Rule will be cooperative with the Gettleman personnel decisions? That's the thing that I've worried about for weeks, not just with Matt Rule specifically, but with anybody who may take that head coaching job with the Giants and Dave Gettleman. The one thing I will say, they've worked together before. They do have a working history with the Giants, so maybe it could work out. You know, obviously, if he's still saying that he's interested in the New York Giants job, he knows Gettleman's going to be here, so maybe they can work something out. Maybe they explain it and they say, listen, you're going to have just as much say as the GM. You guys are going to collaborate together like the owner said today. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe what Mara said today is he wants a collaboration. Maybe it'll be an equal collaboration, and maybe Matt Rule will be okay with that. And they'll come together and they'll decide together what coordinators they want and the players that they want to draft. It's possible. We'll see. Spag's doing a great job in KC. What's up, Hot Take Hockey, man? Ogletree Cruise. Don't even get me started on Ogletree. Ogletree is the freaking worst. And I would, like Bad Dog says, I was on YouTube. I think I joined YouTube. I can't remember. No. I don't remember. But whatever. I wasn't putting out a lot of content, at least at that point, when we got Ogletree. And when we got Ogletree, I was excited because it has been forever since we've had a middle linebacker of significance. And we got Ogletree, and I was like, this is great. We're going to have a middle linebacker. We're good to go. This guy's top 10 in the tackles every year with the Rams, and he is just horrible. Awful. Can't cover to save his life. He's a bad player. Giants have to cut him. But Bethea doesn't make $12 million. Bethea's gone. He's only making $2 million. He's gone. Yo, Chris, worst NFL season collapse. Ooh, I'm trying to think. Of a, I mean, the 16-0 Patriots losing the Super Bowl. I don't know if you could consider that. The 15-1 Packers losing to the Giants in the divisional round. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, or if you're talking about a team that just fell apart at the end of the season and didn't make the playoffs. Could you check my top 5 offensive standouts this year on Instagram? I actually suspended my Instagram account. I'm starting it over. I'm going to have a new Instagram account shortly, so when I get it, I'll announce it. I should delete that in the description. I'm not using that account right now. But I am on Twitter if you want to send me it there. The Favre Jets. Yeah, the Favre Jets, Gil. What is up, Chris Leone? Will you ring my bell? Oh, God. We all want Matt Rule, Joe. We all want Matt Rule. I think Giants fans will erupt if we get Matt Rule. New York native. I love him. Love him. Love him. Let's see what we got here. Giants signing you Jackson, and Adam Gay. Adam Gay is going to stay with the Jets. I did, Arturo. I got hacked. It's a true story. I got hacked on Instagram. I went on my Instagram account, and all of a sudden I'm following all these, like, Instagram models. I didn't do that. And I was following, like, Pornhub. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, I'm just going to delete this, and I'll start from scratch. Would you say the Pats era is over if they lose to the Titans? I still can't count them out because they got Bill Belichick. As long as they've got Bill Belichick, I'm not counting them out. Andrew Thomas or Simmons? Flip a coin. I love both those guys. Nick Young says, yeah, I bet, Chris. Rich Rivera says, right. It's a true story, man. Slick Smith says, you see the interview Peter King did with Mike McCarthy? I did not, Slick, but I'll be sure to check it out. Oh, shit, Chris. Girl was about to whip his ass over Instagram. No. Somebody hacked my account. What's going on, Afghanistan? I was talking about Humphrey in the... what's going on, Afghanistan? Bryce Sullivan says, who do you think has the highest Hall of Fame potential in this? Chase Young. I want Carl Banks for... everybody brings up Carl Banks for defensive coach. A lot of people bring that up. Great New York Giant. I don't know if he has the credentials, but a lot of people bring him up. Let's see what he got here. Giants win the division next year because of our bad division. It's possible, but the argument you could make, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. You could say, we got to find out what all the teams do first. Who's the Cowboys coach going to be? Are they going to keep Garrett? I don't think so. Are they going to bring in? What if they get Rule? What if obviously the Redskins are going to be better. They got a much better head coach now with Rivera by all accounts, and they're going to get Chase Young. Redskins are going to be improved. Eagles will be more healthy probably next year, so we'll see. But Giants definitely could be much better next year. The schedule is tough, but everybody's schedule is tough. We play the same divisions. We need a new kicker. Based on this year, yeah. I don't know if you watch the live streams. Every time Aldrick Rosas hits an extra point, I go crazy. So, yeah, I would not be opposed to changing kickers at all. He's really bad this year. But I could see them giving him another year because he was a Pro Bowler the year before. Who will be starting at middle linebacker next year? Could be Simmons. We'll see. It will not be anybody on this roster. Conley could be. Conley could be starting there. Littleton, possible. Those are some guys if they had a free agent, Littleton. Yeah, Conley could be. I wouldn't change kickers off one bad year. Kickers are a crapshoot. Yeah, I would give him one more year, Glax, I think. New York Giants Super Bowl champions next season. From your lips to the ears of God, J.D. Davis. Anything's possible. Anything's possible, man. Is Jeff Fiegel still around? My God. Jeff Fiegel is one of my favorite. Well, he is my favorite punter of all time. I don't know the numbers, but I remember watching the Giants, and every time Jeff Fiegel would punt it, he'd pin him deep. He was great, Jeff Fiegels. Hey, Chris, will you ring my bell? Of course, the NY Giants 26. Steve Weatherford was jacked. We need to get Simmons. However, I wouldn't be opposed to trading up for Kenneth Murray. Yeah. I like Simmons a lot. Andrew Thomas or Simmons is my guy right now. Thoughts on Connor McGovern, center, Broncos, and yes, a lot of people brought up Connor McGovern. He's probably the best center in free agency. I'm for it, depending on the price, but we gotta fill the center. I mean, Jalapeno is awful. He's just a rotating door. People just go by him every time. Whether they do that with Pulley, somebody on the roster, or through the draft. But, yeah, they could certainly look to McGovern to be the center in free agency. Let's see what we got here. The Giants should hire Derek Fisher. Oh, God. Derek Fisher. Andrew Thomas in the first. Dylan Moses in the second. Yeah, we'll see what I do in my mock. Andrew Thomas is certainly up for consideration. Why don't we try Nick Gates at center? He said he likes playing on the inside. I brought that up in one of my videos. A lot of people pointed out the fact that they thought that Nick Gates was too tall. Center's traditional. You want to be a little shorter than the other linemen. I wouldn't be opposed to it to see if he could do it, depending on what they do in the offseason. I think Gates is probably best suited as a guard or a right tackle. So we'll see. But I brought that up as an idea in one of my videos. Belichick may not have a choice. Kraft may want to keep McDaniels. Well, yeah, but if he wants to, then they'd fire Belichick, I suppose. Yeah, but you never know, I guess. I guess you never know. And he's gone over Belichick's head before with Garoppolo. The Giants should hire Bad Dog. There you go. So maybe Bad Dog will be the head coach. Let's see what we got here. I hope the Browns take McDaniels. That's the rumors I've heard. That's the team that's been most rumored for Josh McDaniels is the Cleveland Browns. Let's see what we got here. Get Mike McCarthy and trade for Stafford. What's Stafford's contract? I know he makes a lot of money, and the only way that would happen would be if the Lions drafted a quarterback, which I don't see happening. Doesn't make sense. Well, no. We have a quarterback. What am I saying? Why am I even entertaining that? We've got Daniel Jones. Why am I even entertaining that? And Austin, thanks for that, man. $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, we want to hire Rule. We need a young, energetic coach to jumpstart this thing. Austin, I am with you, man. I'm all aboard. I think he fits the timeline of this team. I like that. I like it. I'm a big fan of Matt Rule. He's my number one guy, man. And thank you for all your love and support, man. He's my number one guy. And I cannot wait if they do hire him. That video is going to be a lot of fun. I'll be excited for that. That'll be the most excited I think I've been to do a New York Giants video since I've been on YouTube because they haven't done a lot of winning. So that'd be awesome if we got Matt Rule. DJ will be a top 10 quarterback in 2 years. He definitely can be if you get the offensive line around him. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Chris, I don't see... Oh, Captain Trips, man, thanks for the love, man. I know you're a big Titans fan, so I know you're going to ask me a Tannehill question. $5 Super Chat Benzanese. I really want an apology for you telling me to leave my Tennessee Titans Tannehill jersey in the closet. Captain Trips, man. You ask me all the time. I apologize, man. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. And I'm pulling for you guys, man. I'm pulling for the Titans. I'm going to tell you this right now, Captain Trips, and I probably tell you this every time you talk about your Titans. Every year, I think you guys are going to do a lot worse than you do. I always think you're going to win 6 games, and you always win 9. You should be called the Tennessee Ninans, because every year you win 9 games. You win 8 or 9 games every year. And Ryan Tannehill has been the breakout player of the year this year. And that goes to show you what coaching can do. And it goes to show you that maybe Adam Gase was not the right hire for the New York Jets. But, yeah, Tannehill's played great for you guys, and I think you guys have an outside chance to beat the Patriots. The Patriots are not the Patriots right now. Let's see what we got here. Moses is, let's see what we got here. Good point, Chris, yeah. The Tennessee Niners, John Smith says, yeah. The Giants should hire you as our DC. I'm cool with that. I just want to talk Giants. I don't need to be a coach. But somebody started a petition tonight for me to be the head coach. So, Sperm Cell. So, one of my best subscribers. But, guys, be aware, he's an Eagles fan. So, he's not hoping for the best interest of the New York Giants. I'm convinced Rule would be a good fit. Slicksman, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Entertainer, read my last comment, Jared Williams says. I will try. There's a lot of people in here. I picked the Titans over the Patriots. Is that bad? Please answer me. Not bad. I think they have an outside chance. I'm not going to pick them. I'm doing a video hopefully tomorrow on that too. I meant to do that today, but the coaching news came out. I'll give you guys my wild card picks real quick. Eagles. In the AFC, let's see. NFC, I'm going to go Eagles. I'm going to go Saints. And in the AFC, I'm going to go Patriots, and I'm going to go Bills. Those are my picks. Bad Dog and you should be a DC. There you go. New Netherlands. Can we get an Odell Beckham Jr. for Evan Engram? No. No way. No way. Mike Singletary for defensive coordinator. A lot of people like Mike Singletary. I get it because he was an in-your-face guy and great linebacker. Let me just get the super chat real well. Let me finish talking about that though. But I don't get I was excited when Mike Singletary got the job because I loved the highlights of Mike Singletary. I didn't get to see him live, but he was an in-your-face coach, a motivational guy. But I don't get the fascination with Mike Singletary. Personally, that's just me. Mike Singletary was a failed head coach. He didn't have any success with the 49ers. I don't get it. I mean, it's probably his personality, but Jason, thank you for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can forget about it. Did you hear that Gardner Minshew said about Jones and Murray? I did not. I did not hear what he said about Jones and Murray. I did not. Thank you for the love, man. I really do appreciate it, though, Jason Young. Do you trust DeAndre Baker as a cornerback one next year? It's hard for me to say I trust him. It's hard for me to say I trust him yet, but I think he's got the potential to be a number one. Gettleman should have been fired. Greg Harris, I said, listen, you're on my channel a lot. I don't hide it. I like Gettleman. I like a lot of the things he's done. I like his philosophy, but I would not have been against if he was fired today. Here's what I'll say. If we get Matt Rule, I'm glad Gettleman stayed on. If we end up with, Jason Garrett or, one of these other guys that I'm not a big fan of, then I'll say that we should have fired Dave Gettleman. But if we get a good head coach, I'll be happy that we kept Gettleman. That's what I'll say. I don't understand why people like Gettleman other than he's a control freak. I think Gettleman's done a pretty good job. What's up, Big Drake? I can't see the Eagles beating the Seahawks with their current injuries. I don't know. There's just something about the Eagles. I like them. I don't like them, but I like their chances. Mike did a good job with the 49ers. Did he? Greg Harris? Maybe I'm mistaken because how long ago was he there? But Singletary, if I remember correctly, I'd have to look. But if I remember correctly, wasn't Singletary off the Niners in 2 years? Because I remember they went through so many coaches in a 7 or 8 year span. I didn't think he lasted there that long. Did he do a good job? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm asking. Dan Campbell, a lot of people like Dan Campbell. That might be a guy I do a video on. Did you hear that Corey Coleman said he would like to be back on the Giants? I'm sure he would. I don't think he will be because of his injury history. Do you see the Knicks signing Giannis? Probably not. But we could hope. I don't get my hopes up with the Knicks anymore in free agents. Singletary replaced by Harbaugh. Yeah, he was replaced by Harbaugh because he wasn't good. The 49ers were doing really bad. Yeah, Singletary wasn't good, right? I didn't think he did a good job from what I remember. I remember people were excited about him, but I thought he didn't have good results. Anthony, thank you for the love, man. $5 super chat. Ben's the Need says, what makes Rule different than numerous hot now college names that I've seen in the past fail miserably? That's a good question you bring up. And you know what? I can't answer that until I see him coach with the New York Giants because you're right. A lot of people get excited about college head coaches. Chip Kelly's a perfect example. He failed miserably. To me, though, the difference between... I'm just going to use Chip Kelly as an example. And this is a couple other college head coaches as well. Another example is... what's the guy on Arizona right now? God, the names escape me. But the head coach for he used to be with Texas Tech, Kingsbury. The difference between him and them, those were like system guys. Like, you had to integrate them to systems. This guy, he's like a motivator. He's young. I love the fact that he's gone into really bad programs. And I'm talking the worst of the worst. He went into Temple and turned them into a great football team. He went into Baylor. They were a one-win football team. 3 years later, they were in the college playoffs, basically. He has turned around programs, and everything you hear about the guy, people love him. Last year during the coaching search, everybody loved this guy. They thought he was a great potential NFL head coach. I don't know if you have friends that are Jet fans. Every Jet fan I've ever talked to was dying, salivating to have the opportunity for him to be their head coach last offseason. So he's been sought after for a couple of years now. A lot of people like Matt Rule. But, I can't honestly tell you that until I see him coach in the NFL, but I like him a lot. Let's see what we got here. And Happy New Year to you, man. Thank you very much, buddy. And let me just see here. Captain Trips, man. Thanks for the love, man. $5 Super Chat, Ben's and East. Will you admit that Derrick Henry is better than Saquon Barkley? Oh, no. No. Do you want me to get killed? But no, I honestly don't believe that. But even if I did, which I don't, I would get killed. I'm a Giants YouTuber. I'm not going to tell you that. No, but he's not. Derrick Henry's great, though. I think he led the league in rushing this year. He had a better year than Saquon Barkley. But who he reminds me of? Brandon Jacobs. And Brandon Jacobs is one of my favorite Giants ever. He's better than Brandon Jacobs, but he's that type of runner. He's that 6'4" monster over back. He barrels people over. I like Derrick Henry a lot, but he's not Saquon Barkley. But he's great. No, he had a great year, Paulie. He had a great year. Yeah, he's a faster Brandon Jacobs. Yep. Who will the Browns hire? If I had to guess, McDaniels. I think I'm gonna peg McDaniels for the Browns because you've heard rumors about that now for a little while. I'll go Josh McDaniels will be a Cleveland Brown. Still rock the Brandon Jacobs. I love Brandon Jacobs, man. Brandon Jacobs is one of my favorite Giants ever. That whole backfield, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Loved them. Loved that whole backfield, man. Bills get crushed by the Jets. Yeah, but Rod, I don't know if you knew. Seriously, I don't know if you knew. The Bills benched their entire team for that game. There was all subs. So they rested their players because they couldn't move up or down in the seating. So I don't put any stock into that. And what's going on, Cock Lobster? Thanks for being here. I think McCarthy to the Browns. That's possible. It's possible. Do you think Saquon will have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons? Yes. Jason Garrett to the Browns would be hilarious. Let Jason Garrett go anywhere but here. You know where I really hope Jason Garrett ends up? The Cowboys. Keep him with the Cowboys. I hope Dak Prescott signs a 5-year extension and they keep Jason Garrett. That's where I hope he ends up. Give him an extension. Would you draft Jerry Jeudy if we don't get Chase or Thomas? Would I draft Jerry Jeudy? No, not at 4. If we trade down, possibly, but not at 4. I'm not going to cry if they do it, but I don't want him. Not at 4. Oh, Ligman, thank you so much, man, for the love. I really do appreciate that, man. $2 Super Chat. You can't forget about it. He says, Chris, the cops outside. I'm a finna hit the race. I'm gonna hit the race. I don't even know what you meant by that. But, Ligman, man, thanks for the love, man. I really do appreciate that, buddy. Singletary did a piss. Yeah, Singletary had a bad job, man. Did a bad job. What's going on, Jody? Thank you for tuning in to the stream. Sabrina's in the house. Well, I'm a Knicks fan, Jeff. Unfortunately, I'm a Knicks fan. I don't even know what he meant by that. What's up there, Vance? Thanks for popping in. Cowboys cleaned their house earlier today. They didn't officially fire. Your whiteness is showing, Rich Bear says. Yeah. I can't help it. I don't know what he meant by that, but I'm gonna have to Google that after the stream. I don't know what he meant by that. Sorry, man. I didn't understand the super chat, man. But thank you for being a great subscriber, Ligma. Come to the dark side. What? What's up, DJ Smooth? Thanks for popping into the stream, man. Thanks for everything. You got it, man. Thanks for being here, Vance Bill, man. I really do appreciate it, man. Do you have a separate Knicks channel? No, but I do some Knicks streams. In the offseason, I do a lot more Knicks content because Knicks are so bad, and I have to cover the Giants extensively. But for like 2 months, I do a lot of Knicks content in the offseason with the free agency and the draft. I'll put out a lot of videos. And when they get better, I'll probably have more videos in season. And I'll do some stuff at the trade deadline. Nick Young, man, thanks for that, man. $2 super chat. You can forget about it. Saquon is our lightning. We need some thunder. I agree with you. When I did my roster breakdown video, I don't know if you saw that. That was one of the things I said. I think a lot of areas where people haven't looked at are the backup quarterback and the backup running back. And, obviously it's not our biggest area of need, but I do think it's important to have an experienced backup behind Daniel Jones, if nothing else to pick his brain. Not a guy that's going to challenge for the job. And have a running back that could get those short yardage runs because Gallman fumbles too much. He hasn't been productive. Yeah, I think we could use a guy that could give us 5-6 carries a game, 8 carries a game sometimes to get those 3rd and 1s, those 4th and 1s, those short yardage, and to spell Barkley. Oh, thank you so much, man, Slicksman. I really appreciate it, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, about to, going to. Oh, is that what? Okay, Toxics. Whoever we hire better use the fullback more. Thank you for the love, Slicksman, man. Thank you for being on all my live streams, man. I appreciate you, man. And another thing I say every game. Get in the I formation. Get in the offset I formation. They don't do it enough. And last week it was the same thing. I see them on the sideline. They're not using the fullback. I agree with you. I think we should use the fullback more than we do. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think we haven't done it enough this year. I thought that we didn't do it enough the year before, and we didn't do it enough this year either. And Darren Bond said hi a million times, and somebody timed out for spamming, but I appreciate you, Darren Bond. You look like Tommy Maddox's long-lost twin brother. I'm assuming that's, I don't know who Tommy Maddox. Oh, you're talking about the quarterback, right? Tommy Maddox was he was a quarterback, right? I was thinking Greg Maddox, but I think Tommy Maddox was the quarterback for the Steelers, right? I don't remember what he looks like. Need to do more bootlegs. Yes. We need to get rid of Rosas. Yeah, somebody said that earlier, that we need to get rid of Rosas. Yeah, Steelers quarterback, yeah. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's right. He went to the XFL the first year. I remember that. And the XFL is starting soon. I'll probably give it a shot for a week. Which team picks up Jameis Winston? Good question, Christian Cohen. I personally think the Bucs are going to franchise him. I think he'll stay on for 1 year. I could see the Bucs doing what the Redskins did to Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't give him a long-term commitment, but I'd probably franchise him for a year or two, and maybe draft a quarterback. I wouldn't want to. Guy had 30 picks this year, but I could see them franchising him. No, he's not going to do both, little bulldozer. He's a good punter, but he won't kick. Bryce Sullivan got time now. Why did Bryce Sullivan? What did he do? What did Bryce Sullivan do? Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, is Bad Dog in the chat? Did I miss Bad Dog? If I did, I apologize, but thank you for tuning in, Bad Dog. Drink your water into your mic. Drink my water into my mic? All right. You're going to start doing wrestling too if you do XFL. I don't think I'll do wrestling. No. But I will. I'm going to do a game and see if people like it. I'll do the New York game, and I'll do an occasional UFC fight like I did, but I don't think I'll do wrestling. I'm not a big wrestling fan. Super Bowl predictions. You look mad cute tonight. Oh, thank you so much, Riley. You're probably a male. I say it every time, but my Super Bowl predictions. All right, I'll go Saints. I'll go Ravens. That's the favorites. But my initial pick is the Packers and Patriots at the beginning of the year. So if I had to put my life on the line, I would go with the first one. But because I made that pick at the beginning of the year, I'll stick with it. I'll go Packers Patriots. And let's see what we got here. Sup, Bad Dog? You're the man. Yeah, what's going on? JT Revenhouse, are you from Yonkers? I am not. I'm from Antarctica. I stream from Antarctica. And when I was growing up in Antarctica, the only team that they showed in my igloo was the New York Giants. and the New York Mets. And, while I was, fighting off the polar bears and the Penguins, I was able to watch some of the New York sports teams. So that's how I got a New York accent, because I heard, all the voices, at the games and everything. But yeah, I'm from Antarctica. No, I'm just kidding with you. I'm from New York. I'm from New York. Let's see what we got here. I'm just messing with you guys. I'm from New York. No, I was kidding. Let's see what we got here. Chris, what are your thoughts about the Browns interviewing Robert? A lot of people like him, man. A lot of people like him. He's a guy. I'm not as in love with him as other people are, because he's not as accomplished as a lot of other candidates. But a lot of people like him because he's that in-your-face guy, and the 49ers have had a lot of success on that side of the ball this year. Did you know Jeffrey Abbey is one of the Dwayne Haskins accounts? No, I did not. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Mr. Oman, thanks for that, man. I really do appreciate that. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. What are your preferences for the coaching staff? Matt Rule and whatever coordinators he wants. No, but Chris Richard, I mentioned it today. He was Wade Phillips probably be my number one in terms of a semi-realistic guy I think we could bring in as a defensive coordinator. OC, it would if we're talking a lateral move, because I can't think of somebody who's not like an offensive coordinator that I'd want to bring on as an OC. I'm sure there's a guy out there off the top of my head. But Eric Bieniemy, I think, is a really good offensive coordinator, potential hire, but he's going to be looking for a head coaching job. But maybe he wants to get out from underneath Andy Reid. Yeah, those are some names. He is old, but he's a great defensive mind. But we're not talking about as a head coach. Who we most likely hire? I'm starting to think more and more likely that Rule might be the guy. I would lean that he's the favorite right now. It's not a slam dunk, but I think he's the favorite. A lot of people like Okuda. Wouldn't be my first choice, but a lot of people like Okuda. Chris, I was watching Undisputed today, and Skip Bayless said Saquon was the most overrated back in the league. Your thoughts? That's ridiculous. In my opinion, that's ridiculous. A lot of people are down on Saquon because of the injury. But if anybody has a set of eyeballs and you watch Saquon Barkley play, I don't know how you could say he's overrated. Like, how? I don't understand it. No, there's no way he's underrated. No way. Oh, man, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate that, man. The Savage Boz with the $2 super chat. You can forget about it. I wish I had a wrench. Work stops me from being in the streams. Man, don't worry about it, man. You're a great subscriber. You comment on all my videos, man. I give you a wrench. Don't worry about it, man. You don't have to, I see you all the time commenting on my videos. Don't worry about it, man. Thank you so much for the love, man. You didn't have to do that, but don't worry about it, man. Let's see what we got here. What about Isaiah Simmons with the number 4? Yeah, I said that earlier. Isaiah Simmons right now or Andrew Thomas are the two guys I'm looking at. But Simmons, in most mocks, he's going like 11 or 12. But like I said, I think by the time the combine rolls around, Simmons is going to come up. Because I think he's going to have a really good combine. I think people are going to be really impressed. Hello, Chris, my friend. Hello, Bad Dog, my friend. Everybody that knows is Bobby in the chat? Have you, curious why you like Simmons so much? Kev K, watch his highlights. Guy's an animal. He's all over the field. And he fits the 3-4 system very well. I'm a big Simmons guy. I like Simmons a lot. But if he's going to be going where he's projected to go, I'd prefer to trade down to get him. But I like Simmons a lot. Let's see what we got here. No running back at his size runs that. Yeah, he's ridiculous. What's going on, MH? Oh, Jared, you know who Bobby is. Bobby Woodruff. What about a defensive-minded head coach? It's what I'd prefer, Kenny. Ideally, I'd prefer a defensive-minded head coach. I think most Giant fans would. That's all you've heard now for months is Giant fans want a disciplinarian, a defensive-minded guy. We'll see. I mean, Matt Rule came from a defensive background. He was a linebacker. He came in as a linebacker's coach. And he is, when you hear him talk, he is a disciplinarian. Nick Young, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. You worried at all about Simmons being undersized? No, I'm really not. He could always put on 10 pounds of muscle if need be. But no, I mean, I think if we were in a 4-3, I'd be more worried. But in a 3-4, no. I think they could use him a lot in coverage. I think they could use him a lot as a blitzer. No. I think that they could use him in a money-backer type role, like Dalen Buchanan when he was good with the Cardinals. He's better than Dalen Buchanan, but it's a similar skill set. No, I'm not. He could drop in coverage from the outside linebacker or middle linebacker spot. He could be sent as a blitzer. No, I'm not. And thank you, Cushmaster, for the love, man. Is Romo underrated? How long will you be streaming for? Taylor says. I start at 8:30, and I'll probably go till. I try to go as long as I can because I know you guys ask a lot of questions. I'll probably go to 11. Somebody asked me a question. Simmons, last I checked, does not weigh 230 pounds. I thought he was like 210, 215. Romo, that's what you asked me about. Yes. I think Romo was not a good playoff quarterback, but I think he got a lot of hate. I think Romo was a good quarterback, a very good quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. But he never won the big games. But yeah, there was a period there where Romo was a borderline top 5 quarterback in the league for probably a 5-year stretch. He was a very good quarterback, Tony Romo. Just couldn't win in the playoffs. Eli's not going to coach. Let's see what we got here. Romo was a good quarterback, but he's he's a phenomenal broadcaster. Never won in the playoffs, Kevin. What's going on, Jared, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. How many years have you been a New York Giants fan? Jeremy Johnson asked me. I have been alive now for 34 years, and I've probably been my dog's name is Tiki, so that gives you a hint. Tiki, and I named her before Eli was a Giant. So she's 16 or 17, I think. She's old. I've probably been a dire Giants fan for about 25 years. Probably since I was about 8 or 9. So about 25 years. Yeah, she's old. She is old, Xavier Carroll. What's going on, original name? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. My dad has been a Giants fan since 1973. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I've been a Giants fan longer than Chris has been alive. Christ, I'm old. Since 86, Kevin T. There we go. I wish I was alive. Oh, I was. I was born in 85. But I wish I was not in diapers in 86. That would have been a great year for the teams I root for. Mets, Giants, come on. Why couldn't I be alive for that? Why couldn't I be, coherent for that? Tiki's your Yorkie's name. That's awesome, Anthony. Cushman since 2010. Do you like Okuda? Yes, I like Okuda. What's up, Adam, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Knicks always, I don't even want to. I'm going to get depressed if I talk about the Knicks. But one day we'll get good. I just might be in the grave, but one day we'll get good. Oh, Chip Kelly, man. Thanks, Philip, man. I really do appreciate that. $2 super chat. You can forget about it. How mad would you be if Eli went to Dallas? I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be mad at Eli, because how am I going to get mad at a guy that the team forced him out of here? So I wouldn't be mad at Eli if Dallas was the only place that offered him employment. But I would be upset because if Eli comes back next year, which I don't think he's going to, but if Eli comes back next year, I know as long as it's not a team like Dallas, I'm going to have a second favorite team because I'm going to root for Eli. And, if he plays for, I want him to play for a team that has nothing to do with the Giants. Get away from the Giants. Go play for, who needs a quarter? Go play, I'm trying to think of a team. Play for the Bears. I don't know. Don't play for anybody in our division. Don't play for one of our rivals. So, yeah. But I would not be happy if he was a Cowboy. No, he's not going to be a backup. He's not. Yeah, go to the Colts, Rolly. Go to the Colts. Yeah, go to the Colts. Isaiah Simmons, if we stay in the 3-4, is a better fit. Spencer, I think that's how you pronounce it. Spencer, he's a 4-3 defensive end. He's 280 pounds. So he doesn't fit the defense we currently run. So, in my opinion, anyway. So, I don't want him if we stay in the 3-4. If we go to the 4-3, it's another story. Born in 93, following since 03. There you go, my man. Chris, imagine Eli goes to the Chargers. It's possible, I suppose, if Rivers retires. He's my favorite Giant, too, of all time, man. I love Eli. Love Eli to death, man. Let's see what we got here. By the way, guys, I always love doing these. This is like my favorite thing to do on YouTube. Obviously, I love the Giant Show with Bad Dog, which will be on the channel this week as well. But I love doing this because I get a chance to really talk to you guys the whole night. I get to tell you guys that I lived in igloos in Antarctica, and I get you guys thinking that I actually did that and things like that. But I'm going to do this a lot during the offseason, particularly as the draft approaches, free agency approaches. I'll probably do it like once a week, and we'll be talking about the draft and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see what we got here. Go check out Bad Dog. Yeah, go sub up Bad Dog. Go sub up Bad Dog. Someone changed rules wiki page. We work together. He's going to be on the channel Wednesday. So I don't know what day, but subscribe to him. And thank you for posting the Discord, Hip, and I really appreciate that, man. He didn't sound like he was going to retire in the press conference. I agree. He said he was willing to wait. By the way, you reminded me posting those. I forget the kid's name, but posting the height there, Bad Dog. There's a kid that went to my high school, and I'm not going to say the high school because then people are going to look up where I live. But there's a kid. Actually, I probably shouldn't say it because then they're gonna look up what high school he went to. So I'm not going to say it. But a kid who went to my high school got signed with Anthony Jones. Thanks for the love, man. $5 super chat. Ben Zaniz, man. Thank you for the love, man. I really do appreciate that. A kid that went to my high school is a quarterback, and he got signed on with a Power 5 conference. So that was really cool, being that there's not many famous athletes that went to my high school. So I saw that recently, and one of the big schools, very big school. I'm not going to start this year, but he's going to be a quarterback for one of the biggest programs in college football. So I was happy to see that. Let's see what we got here. Giants. Giants give me gray hair. It just sounded like he might have something left. Oh, you talking about Eli? We'll see. I'm not gonna tell you which team because then you're gonna look it up. I would love to collaborate with Strong Opinion Sports. I love that channel. People have asked me to collaborate with him in the past, and maybe I'll reach out to him. He's got a really cool channel. I like his channel a lot. That's definitely a guy I would collaborate with, and he does a lot of Giants content. I have a feeling he's an NFC East fan because I've seen him do a lot of Giants content. But yeah, I'd like to work with him. Maybe I'll reach out to him. Chase Young and Marcus Golden would be deadly. Yes, it would. If we bring back Marcus Golden. No one going to look up a high school in Antarctica, Big Drake says. Let's see what we got here. I think Shane Zimenez should start next year. I think he will. Three biggest draft needs. Okay. Offensive tackle, edge rusher, middle linebacker. Cornerback's next. Yeah, I went to Igloo High. I did. I went to Igloo High. Chris, I graduated with a kid who is now in a Power 5 conference. That's awesome, man. Let's see what we got here. Entertainment. Is Betcher an unemployment line yet? He's not, but he will be very soon. Well, what's going on, Mike? Thanks popping in the stream, my man. How do you feel about Dexter Lawrence? That's another video I got to do. I got so many videos I got to do. That's another video I got to do. I said I was going to do that at the conclusion of the year. I'm going to do the rookie report for the year for all the New York Giants rookies. So that will probably be up in this week. But yeah, man, Dexter Lawrence, great. He was our best rookie this year. I'm a big fan of his. I didn't love the pick when we made it for the simple fact that I didn't think it was one of our biggest needs. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Dexter Lawrence. I think he's going to be a big part of the New York Giants going forward. Huge fan. He replaced Snacks Harrison, no problem. What do you think about the Steelers need to improve? What do you think the Steelers need to do to improve their team? Well, one, they got to get healthy. They got to find a quarterback because I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is going to be there much longer, whether it's on the roster or whether it's going to be through the draft. So that's the first thing. You guys still have a pretty strong defense. You still have a pretty strong offensive line. I think your main problem right now is the quarterback. in the future and getting healthy, getting your weapons healthy. But I still think the Steelers will be good. It's incredible. To me, it's one of the most incredible stats in sports. I remember looking up the Steelers' history, and I'm pretty sure, at least since the Super Bowl era, and it might even be longer than that, the Steelers have only had 7 sub-500 seasons ever. So I don't think the Steelers will be down for long. And just look at the Giants. And the Giants are thought to be one of the richest histories in football. The Giants have had, 7 losing seasons in like the last 8 years? The Steelers, I think, have only had 7 losing seasons ever. At least since the merger. And it's incredible. What's up, Trisha? Thank you for tuning in the stream. Showing Up in Sports wanted to talk to someone on why MLB teams are willing to sign huge long-term contracts beyond. That's a great question, Sabrina. And maybe I will. That's a great question. Let's see. Trade back for CeeDee Lamb. Again, I'm not a huge wide receiver guy in the first round, but if we are going to draft a wide receiver, that would be when I'd be willing to do it and be happy to do it. Oh, Anthony Manzano, thanks for the love, man. I really do appreciate that, man. $2 super chat. You can forget about it. He says Solder to right tackle. Yeah, I think that's the obvious move. And thanks for the love, man. I really do appreciate that. I do not want to see him being the left tackle going into next year, whether that means bringing in a Conklin or whether that means drafting an Andrew Thomas or somebody else in the draft at that position. I do not want to see Solder on the left side. I know, people may fantasize and say, oh, we could trade Solder. We're not trading Solder. Nobody's taking that contract. And we're not going to cut him because it's a $13 million hit. So Solder's going to play for the Giants. But, yeah, I agree with you. We got to move him to the right side. And, yes, I think good chance Andrew Thomas is there when we pick. Oh, Big Easy. Oh, Big Easy looked it up. Big Easy got it. Big Easy got it. Big Easy got it. That's the high school I went to. Big Easy got it. He signed on with Michigan. So I was happy. I actually followed him on Twitter, and I might get him on the channel. I hope, because he went to the same high school as me. So I sent him a message, and yeah, Dan Villari. I looked up his highlights. He's pretty talented. Let's see what we got here. Yep, that's him. Chase Young is the next LT. No, he's not. I think he's great, but he's not the next LT. He's not the next LT. What's up, Mets fam? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Do you think we should have tried Flowers at guard? Do I think we should have tried Flowers at guard? Yes. I wasn't on YouTube at the time, but I always thought that they should play him at guard. And they didn't. But I always thought that they should have played him at guard. Yeah, I think we should have tried because he couldn't bend his knees. He was always meant to be a guard, I think, at the NFL level. And I don't know why they didn't give him a chance there. What's going on, Raymond Sosa? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Drew Lock's been great. Yeah, there's no next LTs. Yes. Great call there, Rakib. Or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Will Hernandez, to me, one of the most disappointing guys on this roster this year. A lot of people ask me going into the season. Oh, one giant rebuttal, man. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to read that 1 second. A lot of people ask me going into the season, who is going to be the breakout player in the New York Giants? And I said, I'm going to give you a name, but he's not sexy. He's a guard. And I thought Will Hernandez was going to be awesome this year. And, yeah, he was disappointing. Hopefully he gets much better next year. But he took a huge step back for me this year, for sure. And OGR, man, thanks for letting me. $5 super chat bends the knees. The Moss has a mind of its own today, LL. Fantastic vids today. Really did enjoy it. Who would be the ideal trade back partner, man? Thank you so much, man, for the love, man. I really appreciate that, man. And before I answer that question, I just want to say one giant rebuttal, man. Thank you for all the love and support of my channel. And if you guys have not done so, please go over to One Giant Rebuttal's channel and subscribe to him. I want to have you on the channel. Maybe we could stream a playoff game together. I'd love to have you on. Maybe I have you on for one of the playoff games if you're open to it. But as far as the trade back, the two teams that pop into my head, most likely it's going to be for a quarterback if somebody's trading up. And the two teams that I've said a lot, the Oakland Raiders and the Chargers, because of where they're picking in the draft, and they need a quarterback potentially. So those would be the two teams off the top of my head that I think would be the most ideal spots to trade back if we're going to trade back. But thanks for that, man. I really do appreciate that. And we'll figure it out on Twitter or on the Discord. And one of those games, maybe I'll have you on. We should try to trade back with the Raiders and get their 2 first-rounders. Where are they picking? I thought wasn't it the I don't remember the draft board, but the Dolphins have 2 extra first-rounders, don't they? But it's at the end. It's 21 and 22. It's in the 20s, I think. The Dolphins. Do you think we should have waited another year to draft a quarterback? I mean, I was in favor of Josh Allen on draft night, but at the end of the day, I mean, who knows? I mean, if Daniel Jones works out, who cares? So that's the way I look at it. And we got to fix that defense, though. We definitely need to focus on that defense in this year's draft. Get a pass rusher. Raiders pick 12 and 19. Okay, the Raiders are 12 and 19. I am going to subscribe to One Giant Rebuttal. One Giant Rebuttal is great. He's got great content, too. And he's getting the green screen back up and running. So now it's getting visually stimulating. But no, he's a really good Giants fan. I got to meet him at the Giants game. And, I think he's one of the most underrated channels on YouTube. I think he's really knowledgeable. Let's say, would you rather have Matt Rule or Dave Gettleman? Please answer. Ian, to be completely honest with you, and there's nothing against Dave Gettleman, I think Dave Gettleman is a very smart general manager in terms of judging talent. I think he's proven that. I don't need to go over the names. He's drafted very well. He's brought in some very good undrafted free agents. He's even made some very good trades this year. The Beckham trade's worked out. The Zeitler trade. So I do think Gettleman, even though he does some things that make you want to pull your hair out, has made some very good moves. But I would go with Matt Rule. I think a head coach is more important. And Dave Gettleman's getting up there in age. He's not going to be able to do it for 10 more years. Matt Rule might be the head coach for the next 20 years if he's the right guy. So I'd pick Matt Rule. And what's going on, Jed? I think you're popping in the stream. Should we make Lorenzo a rusher? Well, that's supposed to be what he is, but he hasn't done a great job at doing it. A lot of people think he should convert into more of a coverage player because he's better in coverage. Who do you want? Matt Rule. Matt Rule. Matt Rule. You got season tickets for 2020. That's awesome, man. And I think they're going to be a much better team. Hopefully. Hey, Chris, I heard the Cowboys are going after Matt Rule. Yeah, that was a rumor, Jose. I saw it. I don't know if it's newer. I saw something on it in like a Dallas Cowboys blog. I don't know if there's something new added to that. Hopefully they don't get him. Chip Kelly, man, thanks for that, man. I really appreciate that, man. Let me just read Savage Bob's 1 to 10. I'll go 7.5. We'll get Matt Rule. And Chip Kelly, man, thanks for the love. $10 super chat. Stand up. And Mike Cowboys fan, what's going on, my man? Go over there, check them out too. Cowboys YouTubers over there, man. I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of coaching videos as well. And he says, what do you think of Chris Richard? We'll talk about it, man. We'll talk about it. I know I've heard a lot of good things about him from Cowboys fans, but I don't know how he did this year, which is why a lot of Cowboys fans, from what I read, are happy that he's leaving. So, yeah, I definitely like to talk about it. Chip Kelly says, everyone likes Matt Rule, but just like offensive coordinators, not every college coach will be a good NFL coach. And it's a lot different commanding college locker rooms than the NFL. Chip Kelly. Maybe he will be good, but risky. You're right. You're right. It's a completely different game. Some college coaches are great, and some college coaches aren't. It's exciting, though, to me, to bring in a guy like that, a young guy, an energetic guy, a guy that's going to grow with a young team. So I definitely get the excitement. I'm excited to bring him in. But, yeah, no, I get it. You know, there's been a lot of college coaches that have failed. I was never a huge fan of Chip Kelly in the NFL. He kind of reminded me of, like, Mike D'Antoni, if you're a basketball fan. Everything was, like, about his system. Like, you know, Mike D'Antoni was the 8-second offense. Chip Kelly had this magical offense. Guys like that I stay away from. Like college coaches that need this magical system to be successful. Cliff Kingsbury, another guy. Don't like coaches like that. Don't like coaches like that. But I like Matt Rule. But he might not work out, and Nick Saban didn't do that good in the NFL. So, you're right. But we'll see, man. But I do like him. Let's see what we got here. What should the Panthers do this offseason? Back in the stream, what's good? What's going on, Kevin? Urban and Meyer is a good example of that as well. Yes, Bando, good call. What should the Panthers do this offseason? Well, the first thing they got to do is find a coach. You guys moved on from your head coach and Ron Rivera, which in my opinion, I'm not a Panthers fan. I don't watch them every week. I think it was a mistake. But I'm sure Panthers fans had a reason and why they got rid of him. I think it was a mistake. I think he's one of the top 6, 7, 8 coaches in the league. And I get that you had 2 losing seasons, but last year you were 6-2 before Cam Newton goes down. Cam Newton's hurt this year. You basically have a guy who should be flipping pizzas as your quarterback, and Ron Rivera took the blame for it. I think it was a mistake. I think you should have kept Ron Rivera, but we'll see who you bring in as your head coach. That's the first thing you got to figure out. But in terms of your team, I think you need a quarterback, unless Cam Newton's going to be the guy, and you go from there. But we'll see, man. The head coach is the most important over there, though. And, yeah, I think Rivera's going to the Redskins. Been a fan since anyway. Oh, you're talking about the Cowboys. Is there a good backup quarterback to pick in the draft? I haven't looked into potential backup quarterbacks. I'm going to be looking a lot more into, like, deep draft guys probably in, like, a month, 3 weeks to a month. After the Super Bowl. That's when I'll really look into, like, the deep prospects. Maybe even a little before the Super Bowl. But I could see them. If they're going to bring in a backup quarterback, I'd prefer a veteran. Being that Daniel Jones is basically a rookie. Yeah, Bad Dog. I think that's what I've said, man. I'm in love with Fitzpatrick as the backup. The only thing is I looked into Fitzpatrick's contract. There's 2 things about Fitzpatrick. One, it was a 2-year deal. So I didn't look into his contract details ahead of time. It was just the first guy I thought about. And 2, there's rumors he may retire. So that's just an example of a guy, though. There's other guys like him out there. He was just the first guy I thought of because he jumps from team to team to team. McCown's another guy. McCown would be perfect. He's old, but he's a guy that's been around the league. And I don't know what the contract he signed with the Eagles was. I'm assuming a 1-year deal because he's like 41. But a guy that's been around the league. He knows how to play the position. A guy that could teach Daniel Jones. That's the type of guy I want to bring in. I like Jake Fromm. Yeah, well, Jake Fromm, I'm not in love with Jake Fromm, but Jake Fromm's going to come in as a projected starter. Wouldn't be for the Giants. Tyrod Taylor's not a bad one. Chad. I don't know how much he would cost, but he's not a bad one. Some days he's Fitzmagic, or some days he's Fitztragic. Yes. Yes. And how the hell? I don't know where he gets it from. He pulls it out of nowhere. He beat the Patriots. Zach says, also for the Steelers, James Conner being in the backfield, nice, but he can't stay healthy. We have decent backups behind him. Should we trade him for a first-round pick? If you think you could get a first-round pick for James Conner, sure. I don't know if you could. If you think you could, yeah, I'd probably trade him for a first-round pick. Maybe a back end. I don't know what his market would be. Jim Harbaugh, I love Jim Harbaugh. Don't think he's coming here, but I love Jim Harbaugh. I've said for months my dream hire, if possible, would be Jim Harbaugh. I'm a huge fan of Jim Harbaugh, but I don't think he's coming here. I don't think he's leaving Michigan. I'm going live to 11, Joe. I'm going live to 11. And anybody that may be new, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for hanging out. And thank you guys for being great subscribers, supporting the channel and watching all my videos. And you guys are great, man. You guys are the best. I always say it. And I'm going to continue to put up a ton of content this offseason. A lot of offseason coverage. A lot of videos are going to come at you. Obviously, the coaching search will be the most important thing to talk about for the next 2 weeks or whenever this is decided. I'll mix in a video here and there, but my primary focus right now is going to be on the coach. And then after that, we'll get into the free agency and the draft talk and all that. But yeah, thank you guys for being great supporters. Sons of bitches. What's going on? What's going on, King Abby? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. I appreciate that, Kevin Francis. Thanks very much. God Magic in the house. The real reality says, ring my bell. Stop, the Lions are good. The Lions are not good, Hitbit. Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb? I'd lean Jerry Jeudy. From everything I've read, I'd lean Jerry Jeudy. You got it, Hefferman. You got it. Do you think Golden Tate proved he was worth the money? For the first year, yes. I still don't know if he's going to prove it worthy for the 4 years. But yeah, Golden Tate he was worth the money this year. Golden Tate played well for the Giants, I thought. Considering he missed 4 games. He played well. I hate waiting. We need to hire someone before I lose my mind. I would say within 2 or 3 weeks we'll have a head coach. I'd be surprised if it's so. Because you got Savage Boss. You got to think of it like this. You want to get that head coach in here as quickly as possible because you want to start your planning, your off-season planning. You got to start to plan for the draft, for free agency. And if your coach is going to be a part of that, you got to start to assemble your team, your coordinators, everything else. So I think we're going to have a head coach pretty soon. I would say 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. I think we'll have a head coach. What do you think the biggest weakness of the Giants is? Offensive tackle and pass rush. And head coach, right now, we don't have one. We need to part ways. I don't know what you said there, LeBron. 3-4 scheme, or should we switch back to the 4-3 scheme? Depends on who we bring in. Depends on what they believe in. I think we have the personnel that could certainly translate to the 4-3. I think Leonard Williams could play in the 4-3. I think everybody on our roster could play in on the 4-3. I'm confident in saying that for the most part. So I think Zimenez played the 4-3 in college. So I think our D tackles could all play in the 4-3. Outside of maybe Tomlinson. Dalvin Tomlinson is probably meant to be a nose tackle. But I think B.J. Hill could play in the 4-3. I think most of our players could play in the 4-3. Let's see what we got here. Should we re-sign Latimer? Yeah, sure. Why not? He's pretty good in on special teams. He's a good depth player. I don't mind Cody Latimer as a 5th receiver and as a kick returner. Yeah, I'd bring him back. Can you regrade the OBJ? What's up, Hobo Steve? One of my favorite names on YouTube. Can I regrade the Odell Beckham trade? Yeah, it's still a little too early for me to fully grade it because it's only been 1 year. And we don't know what Jabril Peppers is going to be yet. We don't know what Dexter Lawrence and O'Shane Zimenez, and we don't know what we're going to do with that cap money. But we won the trade. At least right now. I'll go with a solid B right now. A solid B. We won the trade. Chris, do you think there's a chance to sign Whoopi Goldberg? Chris, I think Whoopi Goldberg will be our fullback next year. Yeah, I do. I think Whoopi Goldberg is a really good prospect to be our fullback next year. Chris Leon. Should the Giants re-sign Evan Engram? Oh, man. Evan Engram, first off, they don't need to. He's still under contract. He's due to make $3.4 million next year, and then they have a club option. But they have to decide on that option before the beginning of the year. And that's the question. Because of the injury history he's had, you look at Conklin, the Titans didn't do it because of his injury history. So that is why I brought up the possibility of trading him. Because if you wait, and if you don't sign him, he's going to walk. And if he doesn't play well this year, you're not going to get a good comp pick. Okay? And if you don't sign him that extension, he's going to hit. If you don't sign him that 5th-year term, which I can't see the Giants doing right now because he can't stay healthy, he's going to get paid big bucks in free agency if he has a big year. So that's why I thought it made sense to potentially shop Evan Engram this offseason, being that he probably has the most value out of anybody on our team that's a tradable asset. So that's my take on Evan Engram. He's a good player when he's healthy, but it's just. I think it's logical to look to trade him if you can. I'm not going to just trade him to trade him, but if I get a good piece for him, I'm trading him. Let's see what we got here. We could use Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert's a great player. Eagles got a great pair of tight ends over there. Chris, do you think Kristen Orr from Alabama is... Yes, Kristen Orr from Alabama will be a hell of a kicker. Hell of a kicker one day. Hell of a kicker. I was at the Eagles game, and at least 60% of the people there were Eagles fans. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Brandon, because it was a game that meant everything for the Eagles, and it meant nothing other than pride in Eli's last game, but it was a playoff game for the Eagles, so I'm not surprised, and they're right there I thought for sure it'd be at least 60-40 Eagles. McCarthy for head coach. I wouldn't cry if McCarthy was the head coach. Again, not my first choice, but I wouldn't cry if he was the head coach. He's in my top 3, probably, at this point. Knowing that Ron Rivera's gone, he's in my top 3. Would Jimmy G be a good backup? Jimmy Garoppolo? Taylor? Jimmy Garoppolo might be going to a Super Bowl. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. No, he's a starter. He's a starter. Chris, do you think Corey Coleman should have a big year? No. Who do you like in the draft? Where we're going to be picking right now, Simmons and Thomas. I'm probably leaning Thomas slightly just because I think it's a bigger need right now, but I'd be happy with either one. What do you think about the Jaguars trading 2 of their first rounders to us to move up for a quarterback? Well, where are the Jaguars? I don't even know. Where are the Jaguars picking, Lamel? I don't even know. They're probably picking around 10, and where's their other pick? But yeah, if we get 2 first-round picks and, depending on where they are, if I'm dropping at 10, though, I probably want a little more, depending on where they are. Where are they? 9 and 20. Okay. 9 and 20 for the 4. I still might want a little more than that if you're moving up to get a quarterback. I might want like a second or a third with that. But yeah, it's something you could definitely entertain because you could still, it's possible Simmons is there at 9. Or CeeDee Lamb or one of these wide receivers, and you could get it another pick at 20. It's something you entertain. Why do we not try for Rivera? It seems like it was a done deal with the Redskins. Giant safety Sean Chandler played for Rule at Temple. He's able to connect with all the players, so that's what he said. Okay. Yeah, everything I hear about Rule I love. Should the Giants wait until the Super Bowl to hire a new head coach? Not if they like him. If they feel Rule's their guy, sign him now. Why wait? Why give him a chance to talk to other teams? If they find the coach they want, get it done. Chris, if the Lions are good, what? Jadeveon Clowney. I don't think he's going to be available. That's simple. Seattle spent a lot to acquire him. Don't think he's going to be available. I'd be shocked if they let him hit the open market. Shocked. Yeah, Drew Brees would be a great backup. Chris, why is your channel so much... stop, David Carl. Let's see what we got here. It's ridiculous. People love to troll. People love to troll. Let's see what we got here. Will you stream the Senior Bowl? I will probably stream the Senior Bowl. I streamed the Combine last year. And Bad Dog's channel is great, by the way. I just laugh because of some of the things that people try to get me to read. And he caught me off guard there. But go on over to Bad Dog's channel and subscribe to it. But as far as the Senior Bowl goes, I probably will stream it. But one thing I'm definitely going to stream is the Combine. I'm definitely going to stream the Combine for sure. I did that last year. I'm going to stream all the days. I'm going to stream the quarterbacks. I'm going to stream the running backs, the wide receiver, everything. So I did that last year. I'm going to watch them do the 40 times, and we'll talk about it as it's going on. That I'm definitely going to do. I did that last year. I'm definitely going to do that. And good chance I'll do the Senior Bowl if I'm available for it. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Entertainment Talking Sports. Why do you question the sexiness of Will Hernandez? I don't question the sexiness of Will Hernandez. I question his football because he regressed this year. But I still think he's going to be a good player. I do. And you know what I like about Will Hernandez? He's a freaking dog. And by the way, this coffee is going to taste like I've been in Antarctica because it's going to be freezing cold, but I need it. Hold on. What was I going to say? I like Will Hernandez because he's like a dog. He's like that tough guy. He's that gritty guy on the offensive line. I'm a big fan of Will Hernandez, but he's regressed a little bit this year. That's all. But he could work on it. Let's see what we got here. Will Hernandez will fight you in the... Yeah, that's what I like about him, Slick Smith. Yeah, iced coffee. Iced coffee, MY Giants. There's any pass rusher in free. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Ngakoue's a guy we talked about earlier. He, to me, is the most attractive option based on age. Should the Giants hire Prescott for a backup quarterback? Prescott's going to want $40 million, $35 million. And he's going to get it probably from the Cowboys. Let's cross our fingers. Can I read your last comment? I'll try, Mike. A lot of people in here. Entertain, honestly, it's better to trade down because it can give us the time to think, brother. Yeah, I agree. If the right deal presents itself, I'm all for trading down. All right, you know what? I'm going to let the chat vote right now. In my first mock draft, which I'm probably going to do in a week, do you want me to stay at 4 or do you want me to trade down? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to stay at 4 or do you want me to trade down? What do you want me to do? Let me know. Stay at 4, trade down, stay at 4, trade down, stay at 4, trade. A lot of trades. Trade down. Okay. I think we're trading down. I think we're going to trade down in the first mock draft. First mock draft, we're going to simulate the New York Giants trading down. All right. We're going to do both. But in the first mock draft, I'll have us trading down. Then I'll do another one where we stay at 4. Then I'll do another one where we trade back up into the first round with our second round pick. I'll simulate a lot. Do I think Eli is done? Yes, I think he's done as a New York Giant. Let's see what we got here. Chris, I got this stream up on my phone and the Combine stream on my PC. Well, there you go, Riley Franklin. That's you gotta wait. You gotta wait till the mock draft to find out the who. You gotta wait till the mock draft. What's up there, Kid Blue? What's going on, my man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What are we going to do with Leonard Williams? That's a great question, Bad Dog. And now that Gettleman's staying on, I think we're going to keep him. I really do. I think we're going to keep Leonard Williams. And I think he's going to get paid. He played really well the last 5 weeks. I think we're going to keep Leonard Williams. I'd be shocked if we don't. Yeah, I'm expecting that to happen for sure. But what's going on, Kid Blue? If you guys have not subscribed to Kid Blue, go on over there and do that. He's got a great channel over there. I know he's been really busy with his job and everything else, but he normally puts out a lot of content. And going over there, check out his channel. Chris, if the lines are good, what's a realistic deal for Williams? We're not trading. Williams isn't under contract right now. Oh, you mean free agency? I'm sorry. I'm thinking trades. I'm hoping for 14 to 15 million a year. That's because of his age. Those guys get paid. I'm hoping 4 years, 60 million, something like that. That's what I'm hoping. 4 years, 54, 55 million, something like that. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair number. I'm starting a Bring Back Pat fan club. Who's with me, Chip Kelly? Maybe to your team. Bring him back to the Eagles. You guys could use him. Bring him back to the Eagles. Make him your head coach while you're at it. Bring him back to the Eagles, Chip Kelly. Chris, what free agent Giants would you like to re-sign? I don't have the list in front of me. I'm not going to be able to remember all the names, but Leonard Williams, we just said. I mean, there's a lot of small guys, but I'm trying to think of like high impact guys that are free agents. There's not many because we got a lot of rookies on our team. We don't have a lot of Remmers, right? I don't want him back. Trying to think of the. I don't remember. Oh, Golden. There you go. Marcus Golden. If we're staying in the 3-4 and the price is right, it's all about the price is right. It's about Bob Barker for me with Marcus Golden. If the price is right, bring him back if we're staying in the 3-4. But the price has to be right. The guy has an injury history. I don't want to sign him to a 5-year contract. If the price is right and it's a shorter deal, 2 or 3 years, let's do it. But I don't want to give him a 4 or 5-year contract. I don't want to bring back Buchanan. He didn't do much. Let's see what we got here. And you're right. He came here specifically for the Betcher system. Mayo. Is Mayo a free agent? I guess he is. They probably signed him to like a 1-year deal. Yeah, yes. Mayo's at least a depth piece. Yes. Ogletree's not a free agent, but we're going to cut him. Who should we sign? I've been asked that all night, Ian, but the obvious names, man. Whether it be Littleton at the middle linebacker spot, whether it be Yannick Ngakoue, the Conklin. Those are the guys we're looking at. Guys like that. Byron Jones, if you're going corner. Schobert, possibly as a middle linebacker, even though I'm not in love with him after seeing some of the things I've read about him. I'm not as in love with him as I was. I much prefer Littleton. Those are some of the names. Miles Jack, that's a good one. That's a guy with upside. Yeah, Miles Jack's a good one. Kenny Joseph, good call. And there's another guy with high upside. I can't remember. I remember seeing, I think he was an edge rusher. I can't remember. But I had a list of the top 50 free agents. There was a few guys I pointed out. Von Miller, no, I don't want him. And you might call me crazy. Von Miller's going to be 31, 32 years old. I don't want Von Miller. He's going to cost a lot. He's old. I don't want him. Do I like Mike McCarthy? I don't love him. He's okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Miles Jack's a free agent. Oh, you know who it was? You know who the other guy is? The guy on the Rams. He's the edge rusher on the Rams. I think he was a Jaguar. And then the Rams traded for him. He's another guy with upside. I think he was a top 5 pick. What's his name? The guy on the Rams. What's his name? Somebody's going to say it. Dante Fowler. There it is. Dante Fowler. There's the other guy. Dante Fowler is another name available. That's the guy I was thinking with high upside. Yeah. That's another one. So that's another guy that they could potentially bring in. That's an edge rusher. There's a few guys out there. Yeah, you're all saying it. The Netherlands. Will you ever make a throwback video? No, probably not. Maybe in a live stream. If it's Rule, would... Let's see what... I just named all the edge rushers, Raphael. He's one of them, Dante Fowler. Did anyone in New York actually like Shermer? I think there were some people who wanted to hold on to Shermer, but I don't think anybody actually liked him. I think there was definitely some people who hated him. I think there was definitely some people like me who didn't hate him, but I was kind of like, eh. And then there was some people that were like, I think he could be good if we keep him around. I think he could be a good coach. I think there were some people like that, but I think most people had the pitchforks out and they wanted him out of here immediately after week 8. Let's see what we got here. Shaq Barrett. Yeah, Shaq Barrett's another guy. We've talked about him earlier. Do you draft a cornerback? If you're in love with Okuda, maybe. But it's not our biggest need. Thank you so much, John, for the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Rex Ryan, he's a Daniel Jones fan too. I know he is. Now, I don't know, and thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate that, man. Now, I don't know, because I've seen he said it like 6 times now, that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. And I don't know if he just does that to troll the Jets. And I'm not saying he's crazy for thinking that, but he said that even before the year started. And I don't know if he says that to troll the Jets or if he actually believes that. Because part of me thinks when I watched it before the year started that he was trolling the Jets a little bit, being that he used to coach there. But a lot of people love Rex Ryan's personality. I don't know. I don't necessarily think the Giants would look for a guy like that. That's just my opinion, though. And if you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Thank you guys for being here. Should we try to interview Jim Schwartz? Ralph Vecchiano mentioned it on SNY. What's up, Yvonne Felipe? Thanks for popping in, my man. Jim Schwartz, there was an article that came out on him a couple weeks ago. We did interview him last time, and Jim Schwartz said that he didn't take the job because he didn't like the structure of the team. He wanted more personnel, say. So, I was never a huge fan of Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz kind of has people talk about Pat Shurmur having a face where you want to punch him. Jim Schwartz, like, literally, I don't think I could ever look at that guy and be like, I like this guy. Like, he has the most unlikable face. Like, I would want to punch him every time he made a bad decision. But I've never been a huge fan of Jim Schwartz. He did a good job with the Eagles, though, as a defensive coordinator. But, yeah, he came out and said that the Giants didn't give him personnel say. And that's why he didn't take the job in 2018. Thoughts on the schedule next season? Have a good night, Kevin, man. I appreciate you for tuning in the stream, man. It's a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule. We play a tough schedule next year. Very tough schedule. And I'm going, can you punch me? No, you can't punch me. You can't punch me. You did punch Jim Schwartz. Schwartz was good with the Lions. He was okay with the Lions. He was okay. Chris, if the Giants win a Super Bowl, will you? No, I will not, Chris Leone. No, I don't think I will do that. Stealth, no, you don't have a punchable face. Do you agree with the Giants staying with Gettleman if they get the right head coach? Yes. If they end up with another Pat Shurmur, no. But if they get Matt Rule, yeah. But if he affects them and they end up getting a Richard or someone like that, no, it was the wrong decision. Did Rivera not want us? He would. I don't know. It seems like he just jumped at the first offer, and I was shocked by that. He just jumped on the Redskins. I mean, the Redskins, they have the second pick. Maybe he likes Haskins. You know, you don't know what they think of these quarterbacks. Maybe he feels Haskins is better than Daniel Jones, or better. Maybe he feels he's better than the quarterbacks that are, available at these open jobs. It's possible he feels that way, and that might be the reason he took the job. Definitely could be the reason. Or maybe the Redskins are throwing a lot of money at him. Explain what I already did that a couple of times, Chase Nelson, with the coach Matt Rule. A couple of times I already explained it, but I think he fits the direction of this team. I gave a long, elaborate answer before, but I think he fits the direction of this team. I think he's young. I think he's energetic. I think he's motivational. I love the fact that he turned around 2 programs in college. They started from the basement. They went all the way to the top. Everything you ever hear about this guy, even last year during the coaching search, everybody loved this guy. You talk to any Jet fan you know, every Jet fan that I know wanted him. They were so pissed off when the Jets didn't get him. The guy is regarded very highly as a head coach. He was one of the most sought-after coaches last year. He's the most sought-after coach this year. And there's a reason for it. So, I'm a big Matt Rule guy. What's going on, Jeremy Maynard, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, my man. Yeah, a lot of people like Simmons, man. A lot of people like Simmons. Dave Brown or Danny Cannell? None of the above. Do you think Betcher's gone? If so, who will replace him at defensive coordinator? He's gone. I don't know who's going to replace him at defensive coordinator. I have no idea. But there's been a couple of names we've talked about tonight. Wade Phillips, Chris Richard. There's been a couple of names, but I don't know who it's going to be. Shurmur's not going to be the old coordinator. Montana, I've talked. I don't think. I know I'm going to end this in a couple of minutes because it's 10:58. But I've talked about this a couple of times because I agree that, like, ideally, Shurmur would be a great offensive coordinator because Daniel Jones likes his offense. He's familiar with it. You don't want to mess with the head. But think about it realistically. If you're a head coach, if you're Matt Rule, if whoever, why in the world would I want to go to a team where the former head coach is going to be forced on me to be one of my coordinators? No way in hell is that going to happen. I appreciate that, Jerry, man. I do appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for the love, man. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully you check out the content. Who do you think will have Shurmur on their team? Somebody will. I think he's an accomplished offensive coordinator. He's done a good job as an OC in the league. Somebody's going to give him a chance somewhere. Maybe not as an OC. Maybe he's got to start, a little lower, but he'll get a job somewhere. It's getting late for me, Chris. I have to go, and may you all have a good night. You too, Jose Rosado, man. Thank you for being here, buddy. Do you think Marcus Golden is just good under Betcher? I worry about that. And that's why I thought he was going to have a big year this year, because he's very good in the Betcher system. That's why we brought him in. I worry about that a little bit. Thank you so much, Chip Kelly, for the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, Chris, don't lie. You had a soft spot for Pat. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I didn't think he was a good head coach. I came to that realization pretty quickly this year. But yeah, this is what I'll say about Pat, and I said it in my video today. I am never going to be a guy that I know what Giants fans want me to hear, and I'm not saying people who say this on YouTube or on the radio, or whatever, are lying. That's their opinion. I'm always going to tell you my honest opinion, and yes, he's a bad head coach. I do not think Pat Shurmur got dealt a fair hand. And that's, I guess, what I felt bad about. I think he was set up to fail from the start. But at the same time, the only reason he got the job was because nobody else would take it. Because, so he was a bad candidate. We had to bring him in because of the poor situation. And he was just set up to fail. He was set up to fail from the start. It was not. Very few coaches would have succeeded with this team this year. So that's what I felt bad. That's the soft spot I had for Pat. You have to learn how to lie to Cowboys and Eagles fans. I want to thank you for everything you do, brother. I appreciate that, Mike Nixon. Thank you very much, man. He's even worse than the fat-faced lard-ass Freddie Kitchens. He's not good, man. P.S. Pat was a good guy. Who would you like as a D coordinator? Who would I like as we talked about Wade Phillips is the big name that I thought about, but he's old. Yeah, a bunch of people have asked me that tonight. The other guy I brought up today was Richard, who they're bringing in for a head coach interview. He might be an interesting defensive coordinator, potential hire. Pat will recover. He's going to get at least one ring. I hope so. Listen, I wish nothing but the best for Pat. I wish nothing but the best for Pat. I think he's a good guy. I think he meant well. McAdoo, I didn't necessarily think was a good guy. I didn't have any soft spot for McAdoo. It had nothing to do with Eli Manning. I was not a fan of Ben McAdoo at all. But I think Pat's a good guy. And I think the players liked him. And yeah, he just wasn't a good head coach. That's part, sometimes you get really good guys that are just not good head coaches. And that's what he is. Let's see what we got here. Funniest quote on Shurmur, to be fair, he also went 9-23 in Cleveland, which is rather impressive. Yeah, it is pretty impressive, actually. To average 4.5 wins a season in Cleveland back then when they're averaging like 2 wins. It was pretty impressive. Hey, Chris, who else is a big... I went down the whole list tonight. But you're going to see all the videos on all the free agents this offseason. I'm going to do all of them. Trust me. Anybody were rumored, I'm going to have videos on every position and guys I think the New York Giants should target and guys we're rumored to target. And I will go over all of it this entire offseason. And I'll be doing these live streams in the offseason probably once a week. Once the playoffs are over, because I'm going to be busy doing the streams, doing the play-by-plays on the playoffs and the Giants show. But once the football stuff dies down a bit, I'll be doing a Q&A throughout the entire offseason. Talking about the draft, talking about free agency. So there's going to be plenty of talk. And I'll be doing this all off season. I love talking to you guys, man. And we're gonna wrap it up now because we've been live for like 2.5 hours. But I just again want to say thank you to all you guys for supporting me. Thank you. He will be doing a video about his. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video about my videos, Marjorie. But I want to say thank you guys for tuning in the stream. I want to say thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. Thank you guys for being the best Giants fan, best sports fans on YouTube. Giants fans are the best. So thank you guys for everything you do for my channel, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight and blowing up this stream and talking about Pat Shurmur and soft spots and igloos and who we should add in free agency in the draft. You guys are the best. Thank you guys very much. You guys have a great, great night. Have a great night, guys.